Welcome to Nimmin Live, the #1 place on the internet to learn about YouTube, network with other content creators, and have an awesome time doing it. My name is Nick, and today I'm going to be answering your YouTube questions. But look, if you're watching this on the replay, I do want to let you know that we add timestamp to these so you can quickly jump to the parts of this stream that matter the most to you, because this is a long live stream, and I know that some people can't just sit back and watch everything all at once. So because of that, we add those timestamps so that you can hit the video description or look at the bottom of the video player and you can find the, information that you want to know, the stuff that you clicked on the stream for. But if you got some time to sit back and, just kind of listen to what's going on here during the stream today, then in that particular case, there's a really good chance that you're probably going to pick up some really good information, hopefully anyway, that might help you out in some way as it relates to your YouTube channel and what it is that you're doing on YouTube. So because of that, I just wanted to let you know, if you are watching this on the replay, to make sure that you are, that you have those options. Now, with that said, I do want to let you know that D is not going to be streaming with us today. He is out. He's a little bit under the weather today. So D, hope you feel better soon. We did get a chance to grab some coffee and some food, but he was just kind of, unraveling more when he was, trying to push through. So he at least gave it a shot, but he was coming undone, so to speak. So he's not able to make it today. But this stream is brought to you as we get into the content. The stream is brought to you by TubeBuddy, which is the tool for content creators to help you optimize your videos for discovery, help you test your thumbnails to make sure that the thumbnails that you're making are effective for the people that you're trying to reach. They've got all types of other little tools as well that will help you in a bunch of different ways around your YouTube channel, including a mobile app. You can check that out at tubebuddy.com/Nimmin so you can see what TubeBuddy can do for you. And the stream is co-brought to you by StreamYard, which is what I use to live stream this. And that whole thing's kind of being worked on right now. But when it comes to StreamYard, it's a great tool. It's good for, being able to get your stream up easily. It's good for bringing guests on easily and all of that. Even though they have, had some, kind of interesting feedback lately after the acquisition, it's still a great tool. So you can try out StreamYard for yourself at nicknimmin.com/StreamYard if you are somebody that is getting into live streaming or if you are already a live streamer. We also have Creator Mix, which is free music for content creators, and Best Creator Tools, which is a website that shows all of the different creator tools that you can use as a YouTube content creator. And of course, I've got other stuff that I'll be telling you about later. But first, let's talk about YouTube Shorts. So how many people here? What's going on? Us Plus Dad, Learn Spanish World. Nice to see you in here. Little Crafty Nook. What's going on? Shark Scrapper, Dr. Vibe Show. Hope you're doing awesome. Brian, how we got here? Genealogy. Hope you're doing great. Monique, nice to see you in here. Jerry, what's going on, man? Hope you're doing great. Amy Johnson, nice to see you. How many people were thinking? I'm going to raise my hand here. How many people were thinking that, as soon as that 15th came around, that, we're going to start having some, shorts, popping up, to where we just upload it and then hey, we're going to start, seeing some stuff coming in from that. Man, I did. I was like, yeah, this is going to be great, blah, blah, blah. And, now, a week later and everybody's like, crickets, right? Like, what's going on? So it's good to know that YouTube has put out some information about kind of what's happening, and I think that as normal, it was kind of a communication issue, when it comes to YouTube, or maybe it's just everybody just understanding what it was that they were saying, which I think would also fall under communication. But basically, now, instead of it being, hey, this is, something that you are, going to be able to, start taking advantage of now it's become more of any content that's uploaded before, or not before, but on the 15th and beyond is content that as it gets around to you that can be, pulled into the short shelf. The downside of this, and, if any of you did put out longer content and you were expecting it to kind of go into, like the shorts container, so to speak, you put it out and you're like, wait a minute, this is showing up as a video, as like a main video, which means people are getting recommended this content and all of that. And I know, myself and, a handful of other people that I've spoken to is definitely not super thrilled about that particular, that particular part of it. But, at the end of the day, we'll have it soon. It's just, I think that the rollout, of course, has been a little bit messy, and I think that could have been communicated better, but here we are. We're all going to live through it, and it's not going to be a big deal. So, because of that, we're just going to go ahead and move on. So if this is your first time here, I do want to let you know that we have a form. I have a form down in the video description where you can put your questions. If you have anything that you're trying to figure out about your YouTube channel, about YouTube, and I'm going to put it right here in the chat as well. Thanks, Mark. I appreciate it, man. But like, yeah, I'm going to put that into the chat as well. So if you have anything that you are trying to figure out about YouTube, then you can just put that question down to the form, and then we will get that answered here on the stream today. So yeah, it's interesting not having D here. I'm actually having a little bit of trouble with this other software that I'm using here as well, trying to get this to have the stream show up. And I've had to refresh it a couple times. So we're going to see if that's going to happen. And while we are doing that, let me go ahead and hop into the very first question that we have here, which is from Late Apex. Is the name of the YouTube channel. They're getting ready to start their channel, so they don't have a YouTube channel yet. And on that note, for the people that are here, for those of you that are here, how long have you been a content creator on YouTube? I know for me, I just crossed my 10-year anniversary back in September. I'm at the end of September, so super stoked about that. But for you hanging out in the stream today, how long have you been making videos for YouTube? Just let me know in the chat. So the first question here is, sorry, the type of channel is they do automotive content. The goal of the channel is to be the best automotive channel in the world. I love that. And really quick, before I say the actual question itself, we got Dusty Fingers RC has been making content for over 2 years. Gardening with Bear Brown, 2.5 years. The Late Gate Jumper, 1 year and 2 months. Ron Trains and Things, nearly 8 months. Love it. Low Crafty Nook, 5 years. What Sam Did Next, 3 days. Hey, Sam, welcome to the creator side of YouTube. Welcome to this side of things. It's different over here compared to just being a viewer, right? Because when you're a viewer, then it's like, oh yeah, this is all like easy stuff. But once you hit the creator side, you're like, oh, okay, I get it now. This is not as easy as it looks. So welcome to the creator side of YouTube. Quick tip for you, since you are, just here, just getting started. I just want to let you know that, because this stuff is, and same thing for FWhip as well, since this is, something that is, you just need different skills, right? For it that, some people don't anticipate when they come onto the platform and start making content. So I just want to tell you to just be patient with yourself, be patient with the process. Of course, like be aggressive and try to achieve whatever it is you're trying to do. But, just embrace the idea that, it's something new. And as a part of it being something new, maybe when you publish a video, it may or may not go as you envisioned right out of the gate. Some people, it takes them some time to, get going. So because of that, just be patient with yourself, be patient with the process. It's worth it. Definitely worth it. Shark Scrapper, 5 years. We got St. John Butler at 2 years. Nice. Doug Hewson up there at 8 years. Monique at 6 years. We got Brian at 4 years at the beginning of the year. 10.5 months for Brian Weber. Nice. Yes, we got, some OGs in here. And by OG, I just mean people that have been on here, multiple years, and some brand new folks as well. So pretty cool. So the question here from Late Apex is, I'm switching my focus from a modeling channel to this automotive focus channel, but have a lot of content, material, scripts, and some footage for the modeling channel. What are your thoughts on this existing material? Make and shoot all the planned videos, edit the already shot video and post it, or make a clean break and focus on the new channel? If you're going to head in a new direction, then I would sever the cord and I would just move into that new direction, because there's no need, if you know that you're going to be transitioning into something else, or, starting a new channel and doing something completely different, then in that particular case, there's no reason to hold on to the past, right? Move forward with, what it is that you are doing is what I would do. I think that makes the most sense, instead of trying to make stuff on the other channel that you already know that you're going to be exiting out of, unless, just creatively, you're like, yeah, I just want to make this and get it out there just because I shot the footage, had these cool ideas, and I just want to put them up on the internet regardless. Then in that case, go for it. But I think that you should just sever the cord and move on, as long as, of course, that aligns with, how you're feeling as well. SMA Sky, yeah, you caught that. Us Plus Dad, yeah, it was definitely close. So next up on our list here, we got Learn Spanish World. By the way, if you are just joining us, the form for your questions, because we don't have a lot of them in here right now, So I'm just going to have to start just like hanging out and talking about a bunch of random stuff if we don't get some questions in here. But the next question is from Learn Spanish World. They upload 1 time per week or more. It's an educational channel. The goal of the channel is to continue improving and working hard to help my community learn Spanish. And the question is, Nick, I'm creating a basic Spanish course and would love to launch it on YouTube Courses, but I don't have access to the feature yet. While I wait to gain access, do you recommend that I try launching it on other platforms like Teachable or Thinkific first? Or should I hold off and wait for YouTube Courses to roll out to me? What would be the pros and cons of either approach? Please give my regards to D. I hope he feels better soon. So D, hopefully you heard that. So when it comes to courses, hold on. Do we have an anniversary in here for Shark Scrapper? Hold on. What did he say? What did he say? I just saw Amy mentioning happy anniversary. So I'm not sure. Oh, today is Shark Scrapper's 5-year anniversary. High five and fist bump to you, man. That's awesome. Happy YouTube anniversary. It's actually also my fiance and my anniversary today as well. So yeah, so congratulations to you on 5 years. That's awesome. Absolutely love it. Chantel, 9 years this week. Nice. So yeah, so when it comes to courses, I absolutely would not wait for YouTube's course feature to roll out because you don't know when you're going to get it. And just like anything else, you know, when you start doing your course, you're going to need feedback from people. So, you know, if there's anything that you need to modify, you're going to need to get, you're going to take the time to actually put everything into the course. If you already have everything recorded, then in that case, you are, thanks for the anniversary messages there as well. But, you know, when it comes to waiting for YouTube to do stuff, I definitely would not do that. I would definitely get on a service of some kind so that you have that option. And so you can go ahead and get familiar with that, get familiar with running the community around it and all of that. If you are going to have any type of community type things, I would do that just so that you can get in motion, right? Because the last thing you want to do is wait when YouTube might not even, roll that feature out to everybody for, quite some time. And if they don't, and you're just on standby for that, then that's going to be a bunch of money that you would have missed out on, a bunch of experience, which is super important. In some cases, even important than the money, in some cases for that initial thing that you're doing. So because of that, I would definitely get on, putting together a course on whatever platform it is that you want instead of waiting for YouTube. In terms of the pros of YouTube's courses, once they do roll that out, and just in case you're not familiar with this, what the YouTube courses are is YouTube is making it to where you can assign a playlist as a course, and then you can upload content into that, and then people can pay for that content. So super cool because it makes the transition from like, hey, I'm on YouTube to now I'm on YouTube and I'm buying a course instead of I'm on YouTube, then I have to leave YouTube and then I have to go, have this whole other website thing that I'm looking at and trying to make the call on if I'm going to join something or not, and then going through that process. So I think ease of use on YouTube will be great once they get there. But before they get there, I think that, having that other option, putting it on somewhere else would definitely be the move. And another thing too is, let's say, like, I don't know if you noticed, but I think it was last week, they were starting to fix it last week, but they had this thing that happened on YouTube to where there was a bunch of channels that just got terminated for spam. And it was wrong. Like, they were wrong. It was a bug. And there's a huge group of channels that got terminated. So they've since fixed the problem and reinstated those channels. But like, let's say you have all of your eggs in YouTube's basket when it comes to things like your courses, right? You have your courses, your ad money, your memberships, all of that. And then you have all that in YouTube's basket. And then you wake up tomorrow and then like, boom, YouTube has deleted the channel, right? Either, because you broke a rule that you didn't know was there, or because there's a bug of some type and that ends up causing it to, go down. So yeah, I would absolutely build that on another platform. And then when YouTube rolls out their version, you can have a version that's also on YouTube for those people, but then try to still get people off platform if you wanted to, into the main thing. But then, you would be able to at least take advantage of the YouTube stuff. I know what some friends of mine have talked about doing once they get this feature, marketers and, like professional digital marketers and stuff like that. is they've talked about basically having like an introductory course that they put out on YouTube, either for free or super cheap. And then once you get to the end of that course, then there's an upsell to actually leave the platform and then go join like your flagship course. And then by doing that, you're basically just using YouTube courses as kind of like a top of funnel thing, instead of, just dedicating everything it is that you're doing to, to having it available directly on YouTube. Great question. Next up on the list here, yeah, and you can polish it a bit more. Yeah, I would definitely just get in motion. And that feedback is going to be really important too, man. Like, when it comes to courses, a lot of people will just make the content and get it up there. But if you do publish a course and then you just leave it open to where you can start getting some feedback, then you might find out that what you had in your mind in terms of this is what people need to learn, you might find out that like, hey, they would actually prefer to learn this, or, there's like a whole chunk of this that I missed and people are requesting it now. And then that would, that'll give you those insights so that you can make sure that you're kind of filling those holes before you launch, widely, so to speak. Like with my app, for example, I haven't made a video about it yet. I haven't done any podcasts about it and anything like that. Like the only thing that I've done with my app is I've just mentioned it here in 2 live streams. And part of that is because one of the things that I have in there is like, if people have feedback or whatever, they can give it. And then that's helped me identify some problems because of the feedback that I've gotten from that, and helped me just kind of adjust some things to make it a little bit better. So, just getting that thing out there and just letting some people, go through the course in your case, it can get you that feedback that you need to just make it better. So build and fix with Mooney is our next question here. And Tube Shala, what's going on? Hope you're doing great. Derek J Reacts, what's going on? Says, a guy got his channel back after it was terminated 5 years ago for spam. Oh my gosh, that's incredible. Wow, that's absolutely incredible. Eileen Smith in the house, what's going on, Eileen? Hope you're doing great. So let's see here. So yeah, build and fix it with Mooney. DIY channel, goal of the channels to share and to teach. The question is, Nick, when will YouTube actually give creators the power to actually block users from our channels? I don't mind it being on this platform. YouTube gives us the ability to hide users' comments, but I think they should let us take it one step further and block them from the channels to keep out a returning troll. I actually like to keep my comment section clean. I don't know. Like, I don't think they'll ever do that. And I think the reason they won't do that is because, if you block them and you're having trouble with them anyway, and they're not getting the attention that they want from you, whatever it is that they're doing, you're going to be able to block that in your comment section anyway. And if they're not getting the attention they need, then in that case, they're probably going to move on anyway. So I'm not sure if that's worth the development time on YouTube side, but it's definitely something to, hey, David, what's going on, man? Hope you're doing great. But yeah, it's yeah, just put them in the blocked words list or hide them from the channel. Having a strong blocked words list, I should say, to filter out all the things that you don't want, and then also banning those people as they're trolling you. That's the approach. Who here does not know where to go to add blocked words to your YouTube channel? If that's you, then let me know, and I can tell you how to get there real quick, because that's a really great feature. So first off, it's important to know that when it comes to YouTube, you can ban like anybody from the channel. So actually here, I'll show you really quick. So let me go into here, and I'm just going to show you how to do this just in case you don't know. And let's see here, view recording, go here. Let's change this to my phone. Tolus app is what we would say in Thai. Okay, so let's say, let me change this to a different layout here. I got to figure out which one this is. I think it's this one. Go to the brand thing so we can make it all look fancy. Bam. And then here, let me share this screen. Go here, bam, movie recording and share screen. Oh, look at that. We got it looking pretty in a phone. Okay. So in order to ban somebody from your YouTube channel, the first thing that you do is there's a little 3-dot menu over here on the far right-hand side. So if you look at the thumbs up, thumbs down, comments, and then the heart, and I'm just going to heart this comment so you can see, but you heart that. I mean, you don't have to heart that, but I'm just saying that's next to that. So you can see it here on the screen. But basically, if you tap on this 3-dot menu over here, you have an option that pops up down at the very bottom that says hide user from channel. Okay. So what that does is that will allow you to just block somebody from interacting with your channel. They can still watch your videos, but they're not going to be able to like say anything. They're not going to be able to, say anything in your comments or anything like that. If they do say something in your comments, then what's going to happen is YouTube's just going to automatically hide those and change it to held for review. So because of that, that's a super great feature if you do have problematic viewers. Now, if you want to add words to your YouTube channel, see, I'm at home, so I can do this stuff a little bit easier. So let me log into my back end here and see what we got. So let's go to YouTube. Boom. Let's go into my settings. I'll just put this on, we'll just move this over to comments, I guess. And then we'll put this on settings. Okay, so here what you want to do, let me remove this one. So if you want to add blocked words in order to keep people from saying things that you don't like, here's what you do. So basically you go into your YouTube channel, and then down here in the bottom left-hand side, you're going to see this option down here that says settings. Okay. And by the way, this is Tube Spanner. This is their tool to write on the screen, by the way. That's what I use to do this. But find out about them at tubespanner.com. But basically, once you click on the settings option down here, the next thing that's going to happen is this dialog box is going to pop up. And once this box pops up, the next thing you do is you go into community. Once you're in community, then you can scroll down all the way to the bottom. And I got to do this real careful here because I don't want to, oh, there we go. So right here, because there's some like obscene stuff and things like that in here. So so I'm not going to show you the full list. But this area right here where it says blocked words, if you add any words that you do not like people saying in your comment section, then what's going to happen is when somebody says a comment, it has one of those words in it, then YouTube is going to automatically remove that comment from public view and put it into another area called held for review. And that way, nobody's going to see it publicly. You're not even going to see it. The only way that you're going to see it is if you actually go to your held for review section, which I don't even recommend you look at because it doesn't really matter unless you have a regular viewer that's like, hey, my comments aren't showing up or, whatever. That's the only time that you'd really go in there. But that particular thing by itself will help you keep your comment section clean because you can put a bunch of profanity in there if you want. It will also help you deal with trolls. So if people come in and they are saying very similar things, like it's hacking you in similar ways, then you can take words out of the things that they're saying, or you can take the entire phrases that they're saying and you can drop those into your blocked words list as well. And then YouTube will remove those from public view so you don't have to see them, which is awesome. And Brian Weber says, how do you share a phone screen on a screen? Yeah. So, for this, I'm on a Mac. You can do this on PC also, but the workflow is a little bit different. But on a Mac, in order to show my phone, because I have StreamYard, but this also works on like EV Mux and, like other live streaming software as well. But basically on a Mac, if you have QuickTime, which you will, then you open QuickTime and then you go up to the top menu and then you choose new movie recording, I think it is. And then it's going to pop up a window for you to record something. You can record your screen or you record whatever, or just talk to your camera, if your camera's hooked up. But you can select a little down arrow next to the record button, and you modify the source that it's actually pulling from, and you just choose your phone. So here, my phone is plugged in to my machine right here, and then that allows everything to connect and pull through. We should just do a tech stream sometime. Amy, taking it seriously for 2 years. Nice. Just do a tech stream and just kind of help people solve tech problems. That would be kind of cool. Just for like those types of things. Because there are a lot of questions out there about that stuff too. Just those little nuances in terms of like, how do you do this? Or how do you get that on the screen? Or how do you do this? So let's see here, just kind of reading through the comments here real quick. I do AI and do videos myself, not many, but some. Is this bad for my channel? I use I used to do it with my husband, but he isn't well. So you can use AI and all of that, when it comes to your videos. You can use AI for assistance in terms of coming up with video ideas and things like that. You can use AI with, helping you actually make the content in terms of like, hey, I need some B-roll. I can do that. If you're doing short form content, then in that case, a lot of people are using AI for some of that as well, because of, AI images mixed with AI video or text to video. People are able to make some fun, creative things. So if you can find something interesting like that, then yeah, you can go all AI if you want to. But the downside of that is it depends on what you're trying to do long term. So like, for example, if you're trying to build like a personal brand, then using all AI for everything doesn't make a ton of sense. If you are trying to just get ad revenue and you're trying to do it through shorts and getting lots of views in shorts and just vertical content all over the internet, then in that case, that's where people are like really kind of leveraging AI video in that regard. There's some people that actually do these automations to where like they'll have ChatGPT write a script, and then as soon as that script is complete, then it sends that script over to 11 Labs. And then as soon as 11 Labs is finished with it, it sends it over to like one of the video platforms or one of the image platforms to make an image. Then it sends that image over to one of the video platforms. Most of this is AI stuff, but basically it sends it over to one of the video platforms, and then it completes the video. And then once that video is complete, it adds a link to that video in a spreadsheet. Another automation picks it up from there, grabs that link from the spreadsheet, and then will either publish it or schedule it to publish on YouTube, TikTok, wherever else. So people are doing that kind of stuff too. Oh, let's see here. That would be cool. Okay, so yeah, the tech help is okay. Nice. Yeah, that might be a fun one to do. And then this is an interesting perspective here. It says there's so much backlash to AI, so it can be your downfall too. I think it would only be a downfall if you are just totally, only going or only doing AI content, right? To where if you're not a part of it, but AI supplemented content, I think is completely fine. Because, for example, like some of the video stuff now, Roberto Blake in the house. What's going on, dude? Hope you're doing awesome. Roberto Blake right here from the Roberto Blake podcast says YouTube is very pro AI. Yeah, so it's like TikTok and like all these places are. But like when it comes to, AI though, I think that, it's important to, use it and get used to it because it's a part of our lives now, and it's going to continue being, a part of our lives indefinitely into the future. So because of that, I think that if you're not trying to use it in some way, that you are doing a disservice to yourself. As long as you have the time to play with it, I think that you should be experimenting with it and seeing if there's anything out there that can help you. Like, for example, right, we have like Tube Spanner that does AI scripts that can help you do that. And it's not just ChatGPT. You can actually like move different parts around, have it rewrite a little tiny part. You can have it, expand an area. You can have it rewrite it from scratch. Like you can do all kinds of stuff. Like there's nothing like it. But it's the best AI script writing tool available on the internet right now. That's Tube Spanner. You have Opus Clip that will repurpose your clips, your content using AI. People are using that in different ways. Some people are just like, hey, let's just drop a clip into Opus Clip and then have it, spit out a bunch of videos. It's kind of what we do. And then, go in there and just kind of pick the best ones and then upload those somewhere. Other people are like, hey, I'm going to have AI, or I'm going to have Opus Clip just go through and pick out a bunch of good moments, and then I'm going to pass those moments off to my editor, and then have my editor take the original content and then actually start chopping it up from there. So it basically gives them a lead, so they don't have to pay somebody to sit there and watch, hours and hours worth of videos. So people are using it in that way too. And inside of that, you can also download through, like, let's say you're Adobe Premiere user. You can download Adobe Premiere files directly out of Opus Clip and then mess with the clip further to make it even better inside of Adobe Premiere. So in terms of like AI related stuff, it's great. I used AI, that the app that I made, Creator Keyboard, which I got a link to down in the description. Everybody here should be using it. But basically with, as long as you're on an Apple device. But basically with that, it's just me going back and forth with AI over the course of like 2 months. And then, that was produced. So that particular thing is something that's already paid for my Apple developer account. And it's already, like paid, a little bit of money, coming in from that, from the people that have, upgraded. So when it comes to AI, there's tons of opportunity out there. And I think that, if you're not at least looking into it and being like, hey, is there anything out there that can help me? Then I think, you're kind of doing yourself a disservice. Oh yeah, totally. Jerry's like, hey, AI has been a thing for a very long time. It has. I'm talking about consumer grade AI, right? Because machine learning, all that stuff, been around for, super long time. What I'm talking about is like consumer grade AI. Yeah, and another thing too, like Roberto made a really good point here, and I just going to say this. He says normies don't care and are not anti-AI. And by normies, I think he means civilians, like non-content creators. So, to put this into practice or just kind of explain this, Roberto and I have a mutual friend named Austin Armstrong. He has a really cool tool. It's an AI tool as well called Syllabi. And with Syllabi, it also allows you to make like AI content. You can make AI clones of yourself. It's got like script writing tools in there, search tools in there, all kinds of really cool stuff. But with Syllabi, he's actually been able to get a workflow together where he can pump out just tons and tons of content on any niche. And then what Austin does, who's the founder of it, is he will just deploy all of these things like all over the internet for all of these different industries. And he's growing like authority accounts in industries that he's not even an authority in, just from all the attention that is coming his way from the shorts, which is crazy. So in terms of what's possible, there's that kind of stuff. So yeah, it definitely, definitely a huge opportunity in a bunch of different ways if you're willing to do it. Let's see here. Yep, absolutely. Let's see here. Just kind of looking down here through the comments really quick. Jerry says the ghosts in Pac-Man are AI. I'm not sure if those are AI because those are, they're pre-configured patterns. So like do this and then this happens type of thing. I don't know if they're full AI. Maybe they are. I'm not sure. Let's see here. Hey, what's going on, London Bridge? All right. So the next question that we have here on our list is the Dr. Vibe Show. Dr. Vibe Show uploads one time per week or more. They do news and information content. The goal of the channel is education and information. And the question is, with the challenging launch of the up to 3 minute YouTube shorts this week, would it be best to keep YouTube shorts under 1 minute until further notice? Well, depends on how you look at it, right? So when it comes to this, right, you can think of it like, man, like if you had a shorts channel and you're like, okay, I'm going to upload these longer shorts to it. And then if those get recommended to like a long form audience, then in that case, probably not going to be that impactful to you. However, if you are like, hey, I'm going to schedule all of these videos to go out over the next like 2 weeks, like daily shorts, and you have a long form channel, in that case, I don't know if it's going to be a negative experience or not. Because if you think about, you watch my content, some of my content, right? Even with the content that I put out, you don't watch everything. Most people here don't. So if I were to just start flooding this channel with a bunch of videos, a bunch of, 2 minute videos or 3 minute, vertical video, we'll say 2 minutes or 1.5 minute videos, anything over 60 seconds. Over the next 2 weeks, if I was just hitting you with daily videos that are like 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes long, and I don't have like a custom thumbnail for it because I'm not going to go through that process because I'm prepping these for the shorts feed, right? Then in that particular case, there's probably going to be a decent amount of people that are going to be like, I'm not clicking on that because I don't care. And then YouTube, after a nice handful of those videos, might be like, oh, this person doesn't care about this channel anymore, so let's just stop recommending stuff to them. I don't know if that's, exactly what it would do, but that's kind of how the whole thing works. So because of that, I think it is a little bit risky to kind of flood everything out if you were going to take that approach. Now, if you're like, hey, I'm just going to put out, a video and just kind of see how it does, then in that case, you can, kind of toss it out there and see what happens. But even with that, you're putting that content that might end up in the short shelf or might end up doing okay in the short shelf, you're putting that in terms of from a priority point of view, you're putting that in front of your audience that is on the long form side of YouTube to consume long form content. If not, they'd be in the short shelf. you're putting that content in front of them and expecting them to have a good response to it. So yeah, it's I think it's a little bit weird in this conversation that we're having right now is, a little bit of the, why it's been kind of like a clunky, for lack of a better way to explain it, rollout. Let's see here. Okay. So next up, we've got, and this is question number 5 here. Well, here's the thing is I think that, there is money in shorts if you get a lot of views. It's just, if you don't get a lot of views, there's not any money in shorts, but there are people that make, good money, when it comes to, YouTube shorts, but they're, making, broad audience, usually entertainment type content. Or it's something stupid like, like slowly pouring a cup of coffee into a glass, right? Or just like weird stuff like that, also seems to do well for some reason. But in terms of, is it worth doing? You don't see me putting them out on my channel right now, my main channel. So, we put some out on, an extra channel that I have, and I have some queued up for something else. But in terms of, my main channel, you don't see me putting them out there, for a reason. So, in terms of, what you're doing with your channel, definitely, do as you wish. But, I'm not putting those out on my channel until it's like a full rollout on the main channel, just because I don't want to be hitting you with, a bunch of, essentially unprepared content in terms of no custom thumbnail, no like real description or anything like that. Like because it would be made for shorts, no links anywhere, nothing like that. Yeah, it just doesn't make a ton of sense for me. But, depending on what you're trying to do and all of that, your audience, they might be totally fine with that type of content. Shadow Mist Dark Art. They upload 1 time per week or more. They do creepy stories content. The goal of the channel is entertaining and driving traffic to my brand. The question is, since I create dark, creepy stories, should I go with the traditional titles like Haunted Tale About Wanting to Be Famous? Is the thumbnail, and then the title, why shouldn't have gone with the old woman, or something different like thumbnail, she bit off my fingers, title, I could feel the black mist eat away at my body. So I would say out of those, I would say the last ones is probably, interesting. And I think for you doing dark, creepy story content, I would definitely try to go for informative with curiosity, which I think that the one at the bottom does, the thumbnail of the she bit off my fingers and I could feel the black mist eat away at my body. Like the why I shouldn't have gone with the old woman, not much really there in terms of, curiosity. But like maybe like where you have like, I could feel the black mist eat away at my body. If that's like somebody else's story and it's not you, then in that case, I didn't know, the black mist would do this, or, something like that might be a little bit more kind of open-ended there. And also like the she bit off my fingers part, not 100% on that either, because there's no real connection between those two. So yeah, I would definitely keep working on that. What you want to think about is like, if somebody is making that type of, or somebody's watching that type of content, you want to think about, okay, one, how do I help them be able to recognize that it's that type of content? So if this is long form content, then, having some type of creepy thumbnail, something like that, it helps them identify that. And then from there, instead of like, I could feel the black mist eat away at my body, it could be something along the lines, I'm just spitballing here, while we're live, but, instead of I could feel the black mist eat away at my body, it could be something like, the black mist, we didn't expect the impact of the black mist, or, something like that. Because when you say you could feel the black mist eat away at your body and she bit off my fingers, like you're already telling what happened. Like there's no need to actually click on that video, right? Because it's like, okay, somebody bit off the fingers, maybe it's the black mist, not really sure. But we know that they got the fingers taken off. Like that kind of stuff, right? So you want to try to lean a little bit more on the curiosity side, and also make it informative, but just lean a little bit more on the curiosity side. Yeah, it's not sentences I was expecting to say this morning either, and I still got my fingers. So just to be clear, this wasn't me. Oh, love it. And Jerry says, with all the quality of life features YouTube's rolling out, can we push for them to add improved live chatting features next week? Dee and I were just talking about this. So we were talking about how I think a long time ago, YouTube was going to be rolling out the feature to be able to tag people in live streams. I don't think they've done it yet. But I think a long time ago, that one was one where they're like, oh yeah, I think we're going to do that or whatever. But yeah, I don't think that one's popped up yet either. Like on a mobile device, is anybody here watching on a mobile device? If so, if you at somebody, because I know, maybe it's different regionally or something like that, but if you at somebody in the chat and you start typing in, so like, let's say, for example, if you're going to do Doug Hewson and you at, and then you start typing Doug, does it automatically have a little thing pop up like it does on a desktop to where it shows his full name where you can just tap on it to finish it? If so, then they've rolled it out, but I haven't seen it, so I'm not sure if they actually got it out. Yeah, and let's see here. And he's chatting on mobile on TV, and he can't tag others. Okay, yeah, so it looks like it doesn't work still. Yeah, so just that by itself, I think would be a huge improvement because they've already got it on desktop, right? They build in this whole YouTube handle thing to where it's like, hey, everybody has this at now, right? So they built in the whole thing, but then they didn't fully flush it out to where you can use it everywhere, which is kind of funny. Let's see here. Oh, nice. Renee's in the chat. What's going on, dude? Hope you're doing awesome. Says, still not rolled out. I'm pushing for it constantly. Love it, love it, love it. Yeah, so he's out there doing that job for us all. Like where we have those requests, he's out there on the front lines talking to YouTube, like, trying to get all this stuff pushed through. He's a soldier for creators. Oh, love it. But yeah, I think that particular feature though would be absolutely fantastic. Because for me, I lurk in chats sometimes, and I don't comment just because of that particular thing. Like somebody will say something, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, I gotta like figure out their channel name and how to type it all out and all that stuff if I'm gonna like try to say something to them specifically. So I'm like, yeah, I just won't say anything. So so I think in terms of selling that idea, I think it would help just with engagement in general. I mean, I would assume, maybe not. Let's see here. So next up on our list, we got Daniel, is the name of the channel. They upload every other day. They do vlogging / gaming content. The goal of the channel is uploading videos is fun for me. And the question is, I've been struggling to find ideas for new videos. Please help. So how many people here struggle with ideas when it comes to, just coming up with ideas for videos? How many people here, if you're like, man, I do have trouble with ideas. If that's you, let me know. So when it comes to video ideas, this is one of the hard parts about being a content creator. So you can be a copycat, right? Which is where you go and you look at, hey, these are all the videos that everybody else has made. These are proven ideas. And because of that, I'm just going to make these videos that everybody else has made already. You can do that. But if you're trying to come up with something like original or something like that, one thing that people will do is they'll kind of remix ideas from other content. So like, let's say, for example, if you're watching, let's say you have a crafting channel, but you're watching tech channels, right? If you see a title and you think to yourself, hey, I wonder if I could actually kind of spin that in some way, or this topic on this tech channel, could I spin this in some way to make it relevant to like a crafting audience? In that particular case, you might be able to, come up with some original stuff for your niche by, doing that remixing. But some other things that you can do is one, is any blogs in your industry, you can go and look at those blogs and just look for any articles that they've written and look for inspiration there. You can do keyword research. And with keyword research, you're not necessarily thinking to yourself like, hey, I'm trying to rank this video in YouTube search, but instead you're thinking to yourself, okay, let me see the general interest around these topics, right? So you can use TubeBuddy for this. You can use the YouTube autocomplete, which is completely free, where you just go to YouTube's homepage and you start typing in things around the type of content you make, and you're going to see questions that people look for. That's super helpful because then it can just give you a lead on things like, hey, do people have videos on these things? And is there a lot of them? So you can just go and kind of get your ideas that way. YouTube has the inspiration tab, which is also kind of like they're remixing, in some way. But with that, they tell you like, hey, there's kind of holes or content gaps, they call them. but there's content gaps, around these particular topics. The recommendations in the inspiration tab aren't amazing, but, it's a good place to look if you don't, if you can't come up with any ideas. In addition to that, hopping into Google Trends. So when it comes to Google Trends, super helpful, especially if you're trying to stay on top of, things that are happening in your niche. So if you're, talking about things that are just widely popular. So with Google Trends, you can go into there and they have a breakout section. Well, I'll just show you. Let's see here. Let me go to trends.google.com. So the website that I'm going to is 100% free. It is trends.google.com. It is a Google product. And basically, a few different ways that you can use this when it comes to video ideas. Trying to give you something a little bit different today, since me and Dee aren't having our kind of back and forth, pulling more stuff up on screen, giving you more examples, that kind of stuff. But let's see here. Let's get this up on screen. So the very first thing, and again, this is trends.google.com. But right out of the gate, when you land on the page here, it's going to show you things that are trending, just kind of in general, right, around the planet. But you can also hit the Explore tab, which is just going to show you other things that, that are getting spikes of interest based on, the topics that you put in here, or it's going to show you, kind of what's rising. You can also go over to Trending Now. And over on Trending Now, it does the same exact thing where you can, sort by country, you can sort by date range, you can check for the trend status. So you can show things that are, actively trending. You can sort by title, search volume, recency, and relevance. So one of the things that you can do here, just at a glance, is you can hit this. I know, like, for a while, I actually had this open as part of my browser. So in Google Chrome, and I think you can do this on all browsers, but in Google Chrome, I basically had it where when my browser opened up, this would be one of the pages that opened when I opened the browser. Now I keep a browser window open most of the time, so I don't see it as much. But on that computer, anytime I open up Chrome, I still get that same cascade. But this was one of the things that popped up, so I could just kind of see what was going on. And then, if I had somebody that I was working with or a friend that was making, that type of content, then I could just kind of pass that on to them. But anyway, this shows, just things that are, popular. But let's say if we go back to the Explore tab, here you have web search, image search, news search, Google Shopping, and YouTube search, right? So YouTube search is important because that lets you know that people are looking for videos around the topic, right? Around the things that you're talking about. So here, let's just say, I'm actually going to show you two things here right now in terms of how you can use this and how it can be helpful. So we'll talk about video ideas here in a second, but first, let's say that you are somebody that's wanting to get into a new niche, or you're thinking about making a different pillar of content for your YouTube channel. And you're like, I wonder if this topic is on the rise or not. Then in that particular case, you can say, okay, well, let's find out. And you can come over here and you can say, okay, let's say over the last 12 months, and we're just going to say all categories just to keep this easy since I'm doing it live. And then I'm going to put it on YouTube search. So let's say here, let's say you're a gamer. This is a fun example I like to give because a lot of gamers will pivot over time on the games that they play. Let's say you currently play like GTA content, or let's say you, say you're currently doing GTA and you're looking for something else to add. Well, what you can do here is you can say, okay, like Call of Duty, right? And then here we'll do Call of Duty as a search term. Then we're going to see the interest over time here over the last 12 months. We're going to take this back, for fun and just say the past 5 years because Call of Duty's been around for a while. And it looks like, relatively consistent. It definitely had its day during, this time, but everything was on the rise online at that time. But, it's relatively consistent in terms of what's going on here with Call of Duty. And then let's say you're like, okay, well, I also like to play Fortnite. And I think that my viewers would also like Fortnite. And I'm actually going to change this Call of Duty to the video game series, so we can make sure that we're, kind of matching apples for apples here. So now what you can do is you can say, okay, when it comes to this over the last 5 years, Call of Duty has definitely been, more popular than Fortnite. So because of that, maybe I want to consider, doing Fortnite Battle Royale content. If you take this down to, like, let's say the past 12 months, it's going to show you something similar, but just give you a little bit more detail. If you take it down to like the last 90 days, then of course it kind of lets you know a little bit more of what's happening now. But one of the things you're going to see here is that you are starting to get a little bit of a lift in Call of Duty. Okay. Now, one of the cool things here, because this is over the last 90 days, is I'm going to take this down to the last 7 days, and we're going to see if anything is actually happening. So if you scroll down the page here, one of the things that you're going to see is you're going to come down to this area here for related queries, and we're going to see this for Fortnite and for Call of Duty. So if you decide, hey, this is getting a lot more, just a lot more people are interested around Call of Duty stuff, then if that's the one you decided to go with, then you can come down here and you can say, okay, this is something that's getting a little bit of a rise right now, but not too much. If you decided to make the Fortnite content, then it's a little bit different because this stuff is actually starting to break out like right now, right? So you have some stuff to talk about there. But like when it comes to this particular tool, it can just give you insights on what it is that you're going to do next, right? So here, because of Fortnite is having all these breakout things going on, because they're always putting out like new stuff and everything, there's actually like multiple pages of this in terms of things that are, rising. So it just gives you that opportunity to be able to, just have information at your fingertips. But this particular breakout section down here in the bottom, this is another thing to where, depending on the type of content you make, you can use this to help. I'll do GTA 6. Okay, yeah, let's do it. Let's see what happens here. I guess to be safe, we're gonna have to do a GTA 5 too. Yeah, let's do it this way. Yeah, so it looks like Call of Duty and Grand Theft Auto are definitely the winners there, but GTA 6, yeah, we're getting some love here on GTA 6. Yeah, so it's only let me do this as a, I'll do it as a topic to make sure we're same there. Actually took a little bit of a hit there doing it as a topic. Let's get rid of Call of Duty and look at GTA 6 as a whole here. And let's get rid of this and just kind of compare these. Boom. Right. So now, you can see that in comparison, GTA 6 is not even talked about in comparison. Right. But you can see the decline that kind of happened here. Keep in mind this is 7 days, but a little bit of a decline here in terms of the interest here. But if we come down here, we can see that, we've got some rising interests in some very specific topics around GTA. Now, another thing, regardless of the type of content you make, that is super helpful as well. This is kind of getting into the weeds a little bit, but depending on, just how you like to do things, this can also be helpful. And the thing I'm getting ready to share with you is about understanding the importance of how your viewers think about things. So the example that I like to give for this is TubeBuddy and TubeBuddy. Okay. So one of them is separated, one of them is not. And with this, one of the things that I can see is that when people are looking around for this, even though it's not a huge difference, when people are looking around for this, they are looking for TubeBuddy as one word, essentially, then instead of TubeBuddy as two words. So when it comes to like search optimizing for this and all of that, like that space isn't really going to make a difference. However, when it comes to somebody seeing your video on the platform somewhere and them making that instant connection of this is, oh, that's that thing, right? That little detail makes can make a big difference in terms of, speaking to your viewers and what it is that they, care about. Same exact thing. If we go to, Call of Duty, and I'm just going to do this video game series, and then I do COD. Don't have video game series, so we'll just do this. Then you can find out here that, we have this huge spike right here of COD. So you'd want to make sure there's nothing else COD that's happening that's actually taking those. But you would do that research because you would notice here that, hey, we've got this like serious spike here. What's going on? And it could be related to something not even, remotely close to the normal, to the actual game. Or, it might. I'm not sure what some of these things are. But if you're a gamer making videos about Call of Duty, you would know. But the idea here is that it helps you just better understand how people are looking for stuff. So this case, because these are two wildly different ways that people might look for something, this helps you, one, be able to meet your viewers in terms of the way that they're thinking about something. But it also helps you be able to also, if you do make search targeted content, it also helps you be able to make sure that you are going after the terms that people are searching for the most. So when it comes to this, you can use this in a bunch of different ways. Those are just a few that I wanted to show you. But this is a really interesting tool for, trying to come up with video ideas. Now, another thing, hold on. Let's see. I'm going to try to log into something here and see. I don't have any of this fleshed out yet, so I'll do this another stream. Yeah, there's another thing I was going to show you too in terms of there's one tool dedicated to coming up with ideas. I was going to share that with you, but it's brand new. Daniel Batal actually did a stream on it yesterday, I think, but it's like a brand new tool. So I was going to show that to you, but I haven't fully, set everything up yet. So I'll save that for you another time. But when it comes to video ideas, though, you can use trends for that. There's also a website called answerthepublic.com. And this particular website is also helpful for coming up ideas around things that people are looking for, right? So let's see here. So if we go to YouTube over here, and I'll just share this with you as well, just so you can kind of see what's going on. With this one, you get a certain amount of free searches per day. I think it might be like, 3 daily searches for free. So you got to be like really mindful about what you're doing here. So for those of you that do YouTube on the side, this is something that you might use to where like over lunch or something, you're like, oh, let me just kind of, today over lunch, let me just look for these terms. Then tomorrow over lunch, let me look for these other ones. But what you do is like in my case, I'm just going to put like YouTube tips in here as one search. And then we are going to see the questions that people are asking around YouTube tips. So here, not a ton, I guess. Hold on, we're still putting it together. Oh, come on. There we go. So we've got alphabetical lists of things that people are looking for around the topic. So if you are somebody that does gaming content, you do DIY content in terms of like, hey, like I'm showing people how to build stuff, looking in here to find out the things that people are trying to figure out how to build, will give you a good lead. But basically, if you come down here, you can see it's giving me for the letter A, different things that people are looking for there, but I don't see any A. So I'm not sure what's going on there. I guess the and is triggering the A. But here, a bunch of different options, as well as we go down through here. If we were going to do, let's just pick somebody here. Okay, we're going to do Cathay Fit. So I'm just going to do fitness, and we're just going to see what pops up. Oh, this. Sorry, I didn't set this to the United States. There we go. And then I'm just going to do fitness. Close this. And we definitely want English. And then I'm going to search. No, come on. Oh, really? You're going to make me do this? Let me do fitness again. Let me go to United States. Let me go here to English. Okay, they're not going to let me do it. Okay, so I guess that 3 a day isn't for real. I got like 1 and then it's blocking me there. So but anyway, the idea is that you can, use services like that as well to just kind of, help you kind of know where to start when it comes to, video ideas. And then of course, everything that we've been talking about for the last, I think we've probably been talking about this for 5 minutes. Everything that we've been talking about is viewer focused. Right? So with all these things that I'm talking about right now, it's not we're going to go look at other content creators to see what they're doing. It's let's try to understand what viewers want. Let's try to understand what the people that I'm trying to reach with my content, let's try to understand what they're looking for. Let's try to understand how they're thinking about things. Let's try to understand how I can reach them in the best way possible. That's what all this is about, right? So because of that, when it comes to, coming up with video ideas, you can use tools like that. If you have activity on your YouTube channel, like if you're just getting started, and you don't have any, anything happening yet, you don't get, comments or anything like that yet, then in that case, you'll have to wait for this. But if you are a channel that has, people interacting with your content and all that, you can ask your community posts. Hey, I've made tons of videos on my YouTube channel. I've made a bunch of videos on my YouTube channel, and I just want to make sure I'm giving you, what it is that you want from me. Is there any videos that you would, is there any videos that you would love to see me make? And then right there, you can get that direct feedback from your community. You can also do fun stuff. I know some creators do this to where they'll put some type of like form down in their video description, and they'll say like, hey, if you have any video ideas, anything you'd like me to make a video about, I've got a form in the description. You can add it to that, or you can just leave it in the comments or whatever. And they use that as a way to just kind of get that feedback so they can know more about what it is that their viewers want from them. So when it comes to video ideas, you got a lot of, different options. But since I don't have mine completely set up yet, and again, Daniel Batal did a full live stream yesterday on this. But the tool that I was going to show you is called Creative Fuel. If you go to creativefuel.ai, this particular one, and I think you can set up like a free, hold on, I'm just going to check real quick. Okay, yeah. So they have a couple different, pricing options on here. They do start out at like $19 a month on here, but basically with this, this also the whole entire tool helps you come up with video ideas. So you can check that out at creativefuel.ai, which I dropped into the chat. Oh, there we go. It's in there now. All right. Let's see here. So next up on our list. Okay, so we got through the video ideas. I hope that was helpful. I hope the trends thing was also helpful. Cathay, I'm glad that you like the shirt. This is my Vid Summit shirt. You can see the Vid Summit logos spinning right here. So yeah, also like this shirt. So Eric Waite says, I thought COD was collect on delivery or cash on delivery. Yeah, I think that's how they used to do it in the infomercials, right? So the next question is from The Last Gate Jumper. Interesting name. They're a reviewer. The goal of the channel is to make YouTube their career. And the question is, do you have or know any videos that would help improve my video editing skills? I'm about 2 out of 10 right now. Thank you for your help and have an awesome day. Yep. And I'm going to drop it into the chat for you. Let's see here. So we're going to go here and grab this. So when it comes to video editing, this is the dude you need to watch. He shares how to edit videos, but he also does a lot of conceptual stuff. He's got a podcast called The Editing Podcast. Basically, his target audience is content creators and editors. So because of that, they talk a lot about, just editing and how to, just edit your videos in the best ways possible for the people that you're trying to reach. And the for the people that you're trying to reach part is really important, because when it comes to, and I was actually talking to somebody on Reddit about this just the other day. So somebody made a tool, and with that particular tool, the whole idea of this tool, and they posted about it on Reddit, and I'm like, I just wanted to let you know there's some kind of holes in this. But basically the whole idea of the tool is that you can upload your videos into this service, and then you can get feedback from random people on your video. And one of the things that I mentioned there was that, that's kind of not that great, because one, if you have people that don't know, what they're looking at, and then they can't really give great advice outside of their own personal opinions. Well, if my taste in music doesn't match what it is that you have in your video, or I think that it creates the wrong vibe for what it is that you're doing, I might say, right, hey, I don't like, if I was using personal opinion, right? And I might say, hey, I don't like that music that you're using, therefore you should change this music. But somebody that's in the target audience for that creator that, loves that kind of music, right? If they're in that target audience, they might be like, wow, the great track. Where'd you get this? Is this available on Spotify? So because of that, those types of services, I believe, are just a little bit misleading. And I think they're also a way to people to kind of, on low key, try to get people to, subscribe to their channels and stuff like that. Not in the way that you're supposed to. But the idea that I'm trying to express there is that when it comes to video editing, when you are watching that content over on his channel, just like when you listen to any YouTube advice at all, just make sure you're thinking okay, how exactly does this apply to me? And for my audience, is this a good fit, right? Always think about the audience first. For the people that are watching my videos, is this a good fit? If the answer is yes, then, take that advice. If you're like, I don't know, then test it. Right? Make something, edit in that way, or try that editing technique or whatever. And then, from there, you're going to be like, okay, let's, they did like it or they didn't. So then, you'll get that actual, you'll get that information. Let's see here. Tango in the Kitchen says, buying my ticket for Vid Summit will be my Christmas present for myself. Love it. Love it. Yeah, you're going to have your mind blown. You're going to absolutely love it. Let's see here. Okay, so next up on the list, we've got, we're on question number 8 right now from Six Shop. Sci-fi, fantasy, and comic book content. Goal of the channel. Says, I'm not sure. I enjoy making content, and at some point I want to make money out of it. Question. My question is a follow-up question to a previous question. I've had some regular viewers use profanity and had their comments held. I have also had some viewers who don't use profanity have their comments held. Should I check held for review every few days? Will comments with profanity hurt my channel? So in terms of comments with profanity hurting your channel, no, not in the way that you might think. So if you let a bunch of, profanity just kind of run wild in your comment section, some people will look at that as like, hey, it's free speech. I don't care. I'll let people say whatever they want. And there's nothing wrong with that. However, that does not mean that just because there's nothing wrong with it, that it might not come with consequence in some way. So if you think about it from like a brand perspective, right? And this is where things like this like really come into play. If you think about it from like a brand perspective, if you plan to work with sponsors in any way, or you plan to collaborate with other people in any way, then in that particular case, if they go and they start looking at what it is that you're doing, and they're looking in your comment section because they want to see the engagement that you're getting and things like that, some companies, they will not work with you if you have, like a comment section where you're letting a lot of that stuff fly, because it puts a negative reflection on their brand, right? And if you're working with them, then you are, in a weird kind of way, an extension of their brand. So because of that, by doing that deal with you, all of the crazy things that you're letting, people say in your comment section, those are also reflecting back on the brand as well. So because of that, even though maybe algorithmically it's not going to make a difference, it might make a difference in terms of the opportunities that it's going to cost you. It might make a difference in terms of how you are perceived by, other people. That could be good or bad, right? Some people will be like, hey, this is great. I can say whatever I want here. Other people will be like, oh my gosh, that person's horrible. They're blocking, they're censoring everybody or whatever. So it's all going to come down to your perspective and who it is that you're reaching with your content, right? But when it comes to, having those things down there, they do have those other, extensions. One of the things for me, when I have people reach out to me for like podcast interviews or anything like that, one of the things that I'll do is I'll go and I'll look and see the stuff that they're doing. I'll see how they're managing their communities and things like that. And if I do see something where I'm like, oh yeah, they're talking about a bunch of horrible stuff here, then in that case, I won't do it, because that also is a reflection of me for making the choice to go on their podcast where they're talking about all these crazy things, right? So because of that, you should be mindful of that stuff if you want, because you mentioned here that, at some point you want to make money off it, right? That's why I'm walking down this road. But like when it comes to, those types of things, they are a reflection on you, regardless of your beliefs on, if you think it's censorship or not. It's just a reflection of yourself, and it could cost you opportunities in the future. So you just have to gauge, and, we're all different. So you have to gauge for yourself kind of where you're at there. And if you think that it's a better move to hide that stuff, or to kind of let people, run wild in your comment section. For me, I hide profanity. Some stuff gets through just because, maybe I won't think of a, way that somebody might say something. But I hide profanity. I hide things where people can personally attack each other. And the reason for that is because, people will call people names and comments and, stuff like that. So, I try to do that. I also put things in there because on my channel specifically, and this happens a lot on YouTube in general, but my channel specifically, a lot of people in the comment section like, hey, subscribe to my channel, stuff like that. So like I block those types of words so that, other people don't see those when they happen, those types of things. And the whole reason for that is I just want to make sure that, that my channel is family friendly, which is another part of the language. I want to make sure that it doesn't matter if somebody has religious beliefs, they can still, they can still come and enjoy my content. If somebody has, beliefs, or if somebody, is interacting with YouTube with their kids on a TV and they're sitting like Jerry is right now, actually. And, if they're interacting with YouTube on a TV and then they go to the comment section and they're on their TV and they're sitting there with their family and they go down in the comment section, they start seeing all these horrible things. I don't want to be the person that causes their kid to say, hey, what does that word mean? Right? Or, hey, what is that, whatever that thing is mean? So, it just comes down to, personal perspective, on those types of things and how you want to represent yourself when it comes to that. So that was really a really long way to say, take the approach that you choose, but algorithmically though, you're fine. But you don't need to, you don't need to worry about it on that side, but just be mindful about how, what other people do in your comment section could reflect on you. Right. Yeah, and this is another thing too. Like Grandpa's Random Review says, a little profanity goes a long way. A word or two here and there, not so bad. But some folks do seem to have a very broad range of vocabulary. That's a great way to say that, and a very tactful, very tactful way to say that. Yeah, but absolutely. Every now and then, something slips out, whatever. But when you make it part of your brand, that's where things start getting complicated. All right. Next question that we have here. Let's see. We've got, long form. There we go. Okay, homekeeping channel. They do bi-weekly content. The type of channel is home cleaning and organizing. The goal of the channel is I want to support myself and family by becoming a full-time creator. Question is, hey, Nick, congrats on hitting 10 years on YouTube. Thank you. Is it correct that shorts count towards watch hours if the video also appears in search, suggested in Google, etc.? Yeah, so if you technically, and if Renee's in here, he can confirm this or correct me, but technically if the view comes in not from the short shelf, then you can still get watch time from it. But if it comes in from the short shelf, that's where it doesn't count towards your monetization. So right now, if you're one of the creators that have uploaded the longer shorts, and with those, it's going out as a regular video, then in that case, you're getting the watch time, credits for those, because people are watching it, on the main platform and not in the short shelf itself. Next up on the list, we got Derek J Reacts, been on YouTube for less than a year. The type of channel is body cam reaction channel. The goal of the channel says I react to body cam videos and point out the stupid mistakes people make that get them arrested in an effort to teach others not to make the same mistakes. And the question is, I publish a new video every day. Will today's video stop yesterday's video from being pushed out by the algorithm? Really appreciate all the advice you give us. No. So here's what you want to think about is things do happen where, like, let's say that you, publish a video today and it starts doing great. And then you publish a video tomorrow and it starts doing like better than that original video in terms of how people respond to it. That video might overtake priority in terms of, who's getting recommended that content. So it could technically, end up, impacting that previous video in that particular way. But the real thing that you have to think about, though, when it comes to YouTube is the long term, right? So, you might see like a dip, like in that moment. Like that used to happen when I would go live as well, to where I could take screenshots. And I could be like, right, this is the moment I went live. You could actually see videos, drop that moment. But then after the live stream was over, then it would, come back. But the idea, though, is that you want to think about YouTube long term. And if you publish a video today and you publish a video tomorrow, and let's say that video does get that better response, and when that happens, let's say it gets priority in the system because it's just on, way better than the other videos, then in that particular case, that might be the case right now. But that video could also end up being a feeder video for those other videos over time, or that could just be how the people that YouTube is initially showing it to. It could be how those people are responding to it. And then over the next 90 days, you could find out that the video that it seems took the hit ended up outperforming everything else, because as it got through those initial audiences and started going out to more broad audiences, they responded to it better than that video that ended up taking some of the traffic from it, if that happened. So because of that, it's really important to think about YouTube as an ecosystem of content and your channel as an ecosystem of content for, individual viewers, and to think about the long-term impact of your videos versus getting granular with, like, okay, I published this and then this happens and this happens, and really tracking all of that stuff over the course of like, a day or two. That'll cause more like frustration than anything. It's good to pay attention to that stuff. But in terms of, like, will this video eat up this video? As long as people respond well to both, then both videos will do well over time because it's good content. And at the end of the day, if you're uploading good videos, it might take you 6 months for those videos to accumulate a amount of views that you're happy with, or it could happen within the first 24 hours. But at the end of the day, if it's good content, as people find it, they will continue to enjoy it. They might end up finding it through the recommendation system. They might end up finding it because another video brings somebody into your YouTube channel, and then they end up going and looking at your other videos and finding it that way, but they still have a great experience with it because it's a good video, right? So as long as you're focused on uploading good content that your viewers love, then you'll be fine. And those types of, nuanced things become, a little bit less important. Roberto, he's been doing YouTube, longer than I have. He says, don't be neurotic about YouTube. Yeah, he's been doing YouTube longer than I have. And I'm sure, he can speak to it as well in terms of like, like if you think about the long game when it comes to YouTube, and you think about, okay, I'm publishing this video today, this is going to be on the platform forever. So let me just try to make this, as value packed as I possibly can, or make something really good for the people that I'm trying to reach with this. Then, those videos will do fine over time. Eric Way Whiskey Study says he also hides political candidates. I think he's talking about the blocked words list in there. Yeah, I've done that as well. I do that. I actually turned off political ads for a while as well. And as a matter of fact, that reminds me of something that Doug Hewson actually sent me a message about yesterday. I'm going to go in here and see if I can find it really quick, so I didn't get a chance to look yesterday. I'm going to show you guys something here that Doug brought to my attention yesterday. Let's see here. Where was that? I think that was in the earn section, maybe. Watch paid ads. Let's go there. No, I don't see it in here yet. Yeah, so there used to be a thing. Well, I mean, it's still there, but basically in your AdSense account, for those of you that are in the YouTube Partner Program, you can block political ads as well. You'll take that hit because during the during political seasons they run a lot of ads, and some content really gets to take advantage. But YouTube, YouTube has actually done it inside. They've added these features now inside of your Creator Studio, and I'm not sure exactly where it's at yet. So I'll mention it at another time. But hold on, it might be here. I'm just checking real quick so I can show it to you if I can get it to pop up. But yeah, I'm not sure. Not sure where it is. So yeah, I'll have to show that to you another time. But the idea is that it lets you. Oh no, I found it. Okay, so in order to find this, you actually go into your settings on your YouTube channel, and then you go into ad categories. So probably shouldn't show this, but I'm going to anyway because, why not? So let's see here. So I'm going to pull this up on screen. So this new section, for those of you that, are in the YouTube Partner Program. Oh yeah, Amy has it. Amy has it there too. She's found it already also. So basically, if you go into the settings here and then you click on ad categories, here you can block specific URLs. So I'm going to give you a quick tip on this one. If you are an affiliate of anything, you want to block that affiliate here. Like you can see, TubeBuddy is a sponsor of this live stream, but I have TubeBuddy blocked here. The reason I have them blocked here is because in the past, I got caught up in a ad campaign for TubeBuddy, and it wasn't malicious. It was just, and these are things that you learn over, being on YouTube for a long time, but it wasn't malicious, but they were just doing keyword targeting, and my videos just happened to be that. And me promoting TubeBuddy as an affiliate, what ended up happening was that, those videos were taking away some of my affiliate sales. And because that ad campaign was aggressive, it was visibly noticeable when that happened. And I actually had a viewer, because I was like, man, my TubeBuddy sales are taking a hit right now. And then I had a viewer a few days later was like, oh, I just saw an ad for this on the way in to watch this video. And I was like, whoa, right? So when you block the things that you promote as an affiliate in here, it just will help reduce that, so you don't become collateral damage for for somebody's ad campaign. Again, not malicious, but it can just be something that ends up taking some of your traffic because they're just running, an ad campaign. Another thing that's a part of this, and I'm not sure what you're going to see here, because I know I'm familiar with what it looks like over in AdSense, but I'm not sure what it looks like here. Okay, so here, sensitive categories. These are things that you can also block for sensitive categories. So it looks like my political stuff is off, so I'm going to block that real quick. Here, but we're actually going to go through. I'm just going to set mine up here in real time over here on the YouTube side. So bare skin, don't really care. Alcohol, yeah, not a fan of that. Black magic, astrology, esoteric, yeah, we'll block that too. Cosmetic procedures and body modifications, it's up to you. Dating, that's fine. Downloadable utilities, drugs and supplements, gambling, I'll leave that on there. Get rich quick. Even though they spend a lot of money, I'm going to leave them on there, but don't fall for any of that stuff. But I'm going to leave that on there just for the ad rate. References to sex, don't care. Hopefully, people seeing those ads are adults. Religion, I block that one. Sensationalists, sexual and reproductive health, nope. Casino games, video games, casual online. So yeah, so with these, and then here we have general categories where you can also get granular on what it is that you're blocking if you want to get into the nitty gritty, so to speak. But I'm just going to save this for now. But here's some things that you want to add to that list. So one, is if you do have, oh, it's way more consolidated than AdSense. I agree. Super, super cool addition, Jerry. And thanks, Doug, for bringing this to my attention yesterday. But basically, when it comes to the things that you should block, one, you should block anything that you promote as an affiliate. Two, optionally, and this is something, and some people are kind of weird about this, but I'm just going to say it anyway because, you know, it's what I do. So I also will offer, if a competitor wants to pay more money for, you know, for a brand deal, I'll also offer to block their competitors in my ads. And the reason for that is because, let's say that I'm making a video, and we'll just use TubeBuddy as the example here because, you know, this stream is sponsored by them. Let's say that this stream is sponsored by TubeBuddy, which it is. Well, if I was a competitor of TubeBuddy, I could just run ads on this particular stream and, you know, similar impact, right? So because of that, you know, you can use that as like an upsell when you're doing brand deals, in terms of, you can either use it as an upsell or you can use it as like a, hey, I'm also going to do this just as a heads up, like your call, depending on, you know, how you do things. But when you do that sort of thing, it can also help you get more money when it comes to brand deals, because some brands will pay for that. Not everybody. Some people are like, oh yeah, I don't really care. But other brands will be like, yeah, you know, that would be super cool. And then they'll pay you know, a little bit extra for it. So a little pro tip going on there. Let's see here. So next up on our list, and I think that's it. Hold on. So blocking competitors from advertising on your videos, blocking the things that you don't like from advertising on your videos, and yeah, I think that's it. Yeah. So another thing that I've blocked in there too, you might have seen some of them, I'm not sure, because I don't think I scrolled. But yeah, there's also like a bunch of like shady YouTube courses and stuff like that that people try to sell, and they'll advertise on my videos for that. So I blocked off a bunch of those too. Some of them have YouTube channels, but like big YouTube channels, and I've blocked them also, just for the sake of, like, you know, like I'm familiar with them as a creator. Nobody that's ever been on my channel or anything, but like, you know, I'm just familiar with those people as creators, and I see what they do. So because of that, I'll block their stuff, just because they're, you know, it's not good for you. Let's see here. So Kev Goes is the name of the next channel. They do bi-weekly content, but on YouTube for a year or more. The type of channel is camping and other outdoor related content. The goal of the channel is to satisfy my creative need to help promote the outdoors and nature, and to get monetized so I can do this on a more full-time basis. The question is, I'm over 900 subs now, and I'm wondering if live streaming count towards watch hours for monetization. I seem to get mixed answers on this. Also, do you have a video explaining terminology that relates to monetization, like CPM and RPM? Thanks for all that you do. So in terms of live streaming counting towards watch hours for monetization, it absolutely does, but you have to make sure that your live stream stays public. So if you have somebody come in and they are participating in your live stream, then you are getting credited for that watch time. But any content on your YouTube channel, if you unlist it or private it, then you're going to lose the watch time that's being credited towards your partner program membership. So because of that, make sure that you do leave everything public, especially while you're trying to get into the partner program. And then once you're in, and once you meet the requirements, you know, for that following year, then in that case, if you want to go through and, you know, private some of those or something like that, if you want to, then you can, or you can just leave them. You can leave them there. Let's see here. Yeah, I hadn't seen it, Jerry. Doug, actually, he sent me a message on Discord yesterday, and he's like, hey, they've got this in here now. I was like, oh, sweet, dude. Let's see here. So creative need number subs. Oh yeah, and the video on the monetization. No, I don't have. Actually, you know what? I think I do. Actually, I have a video on my YouTube channel, and it's something about YouTubers need to know these words, I think, is what it is. And really quick on the thing that we were talking about earlier in terms of video ideas, that was one of those videos. Hold on, Nick Nimmin YouTube words. Let's see if it shows up under this. I'm not sure. Settings, content creators. Okay, nope, not there. I'm trying to find it for you real quick, and I'll just drop it in the chat. Okay, here we go. You're also going to see me playing handpan in this particular video, in the background. Just, you know, having some fun. But yeah, this was one of those videos that I'm surprised that nobody made this video, because typically, especially in my types of content, here's that video, by the way, about YouTube words. It's just things like if you're a new content creator, it just talks about, just things that you should know about. And then I explain those particular words. I actually have, and I'll show it to you really quick. Let's see here. And it's actually farther for those of you that were here, I think 2 weeks ago. It's actually farther than it was at that time. But I'm working on for new content creators. But I mean, really, experienced creators are going to be able to use this. Oops. Wrong thing. Experienced creators are going to be able to use this as well. But there we go. So I'm working on a new app in addition to the keyboard that I haven't even like really promoted yet. But that stuff is coming soon. So I'm working on another one here for new content creators. And basically this thing in the middle is going to keep you updated on like YouTube news and like that kind of stuff. And then I have up in the top right-hand corner, if you hit this, once you connect your YouTube channel, it makes a QR code for your channel. So you can like quickly, somebody's like, hey, what channel, what's your channel, whatever, you can just quickly pull it up, this way, and they can scan it and open it directly on their phone. You can also save this image to your photos. So if you wanted to put it anywhere, you can. Here, because there's a bunch of different tools in here. There's a few of these that are going to be taken away for the first, for the first version of it when I first put it out. But basically, you have a content planner in here to where you're going to be able to schedule, your content and keep track of the videos that you're publishing. A script timer in order to practice how long your scripts are, which is going to be important when it comes to like these, like 3-minute videos and stuff like that, that people are going to be trying to make. Thing in here to remind you to take a break, and a little meditation timer. This right here is to help you remember camera settings. So for those of you that will take your same camera and then you go out and you like vlog with that camera, and then you bring it back home and make videos at home, and your conditions are always changing, and because of that you have to update your camera settings. This is the solution for that, to where you can save information on up to 4 cameras. Let's see here. There is checklists for different things, and these are just rough when I actually go into the checklist itself right now. But these particular checklists, they are going to have my recommendations on things that you should do. But then they also have where if you click on the edit button, you can go in here and you can change these to whatever it is that you need for your particular workflow. But since this is, to help new content creators kind of get informed and get off the ground, the idea with this is that it just gives people a starting point, and then from there they can customize things as they want. And then there's also a thing in here for video ideas as well. So you're going to be able to add and select video ideas or save video ideas. And then for the ones that you decide that you want to put, that you actually want to go forward with, then you have a button down here to move that idea into your content calendar. So you can go ahead and, get it in queue and start working on it. There'll also be a button right here on this page next to it that will, help you do that as well. And then over here, I've got, and this is why your mention about, do I have any content about the words thing? This is what, kind of triggered this. So there's a glossary in here under the resources area. So if you tap into this, and this is like a short version right now, I'm going to expand it out, once I get all the core functionality done. But with this, you can actually sort by like YouTube analytics. You can sort by like camera gear, right? To where it jumps you down there. So you get familiar with that. Audio gear, monetization, which currently I think we've just got like ad revenue, affiliate marketing, sponsorships. We do have CPM in here. But, like all of the things that we say will be, added to this so that new content creators can just be more informed there. Hey, BJ Jones, what's going on? Hope you're doing great. And then here, it's a list of trusted channels, and they're still, like I'm still going to add a bunch of people to this. Again, this is just like, filling in the information here. But basically, YouTube tips and best practices, putting that at the top for obvious reasons, right? So with this, got, some people in here, but we're going to add, a lot more to this. I'm adding YouTube's official channels in here, because one thing that YouTube is great at is putting out great features, keeping the platform running and stuff like that. But they're not the best at, keeping creators up to date with stuff. They try, and they have all these different outlets, but a lot of creators don't know about these outlets. Even though YouTube puts them like in the dashboard and stuff like that, they still don't know. So this is just my attempt to also let people know about those. Video editing. So like here, I dropped Hayden Hellier Smith in the chat earlier. So, I got him in here. I got Premiere Gal in here. I just have Daniel in here because he does DaVinci Resolve tutorials. And I put my brother here because he does have some editing tutorials, but he'll end up moving into a different place. Creator tools, audio processing. If you want to listen to, conversation with creators and stuff like that, you've got that. And then we've got brand deals down there at the bottom. And then here for the podcast, this is going to share all of the YouTube creator-focused podcasts, so you can inform yourself there. Trusted communities, where you can ensure that you're going to get good information. And I have a disclaimer about that here. But, same thing. It's all trusted stuff. So like these are going to be trusted communities on Facebook, Reddit, Discord, the whole nine, so that people can go into places where they can trust all the information. Creator tools for all the different stuff that we use for things. Creator support. Because, one thing that we have trouble with sometimes as a creator is, getting the support that we need directly from YouTube. So this is, the community guidelines, terms of service, so we can stay up to date with the rules, but also a link to Renee Ritchie's YouTube creator liaison Twitter account, link to Team YouTube on Twitter, and YouTube Help Center as well, to where you can actually search for solutions to problems. And of course, more will be added there. And then I've got some articles down here around like best practices and stuff like that. But basically the whole idea with this particular app is to, just give content creators the, the information that they need in order to, just kind of get started, with the whole thing, and just trying to remove some I don't know if boundaries is the right word, but I'm just trying to remove some of the hurdles that people, run into. And, as if you've been hanging out in this stream a lot, one of the things that you'll notice over time is like, there's a lot of very similar questions that get asked, right? So since those, similar questions get asked, that means that if I can have this app, then, it can go ahead and answer some of those questions for people so that it might be able to help them move along faster, right? It's kind of the idea. And there's also a lot of garbage content out there that's literally misleading content creators. So this is also my way of also just kind of, and this is going to sound kind of, rude, but this is my way of also just kind of leading people into like, okay, these are people that you can trust, right? Because people that are sharing shady information, they're not going to be in this app. So because of that, it's my way of kind of, also kind of, controlling that a little bit. So that's it's not available yet. I'm still working on it. I didn't put much time into it this week. But yeah, so I'm expecting this one to be ready in about a month. So I'll still have to go through the approval process and all that with Apple for that particular one. But I expect it to be like ready to go, and I'll say a month to be safe. All right, so let's get into Patricia Collins. What's going on? Hope you are doing great. Hey, thanks, BJ Jones. Appreciate it. So let's see here. So next up on the list here, let's go in and answer some more questions. And by the way, I have another app too, just in case you don't know about it yet, in case you weren't here last or 2 weeks ago or last week. This one's called Creator Keyboard. And I'm not going to spend too much time on this because I know a lot of you have heard it already. But basically what it is it's an app to where, like, let's say you're on YouTube, and like in this case right here, right? He says, Nick, do you offer one-on-one calls? I can tap into here. And then if I'm taking clients at that time, I hit the little globe icon. If I'm taking clients at that time, then in that case, I would come over here to the responses. And then you can see down here in the bottom, and I'll just kind of tap it here with consulting requests. You can see it move there. See that? If I'm taking clients, then I would put yes. If I'm not, then I have one for no. But you can see how it just fills out all of that information, right? So I don't have to sit there and type it out every time. And then in addition to that, you can contain everything into folders. There's a Thanks-O-Matic where you can quickly add, different ways to say thank you. And then you also have this where you can share all of your social media links. You basically put them in here and you store it once, and then you can deploy all this stuff anytime you want in any app or any place online that takes a text input. You can find that at creatorkeyboard.com/app. I've got a link to it down in the description. Or you can also find it by scanning this QR code that's on the screen right now. That'll take you directly to it in the App Store. And keep in mind, this is an iOS app. So just scan this really quick. If you're going to check it out now or later, just scan this really quick, and then you can go and check that out at your leisure. But super helpful. Like if you're somebody that answers a lot of the same things a lot, or like let's say even if you get food delivery and you have to always keep saying the same stuff, like, hey, go around back, open the gate, we're going to be hanging out in back, whatever the thing is, you can even add those types of things to it. It doesn't have to be creator stuff, but you can even add those types of things to it to where you can quickly deploy those types of things too. Technically, you can use it for dating openers, to where you just build in a bunch of things that you can, drop into Tinder for like your, opening, things that for your opening conversations and stuff like that there, but tons of use cases for it. But yeah, just scan that QR code, and then that should take you there if that is something you're interested in. All right, next question that we have here is from Kev Goes. Kev Goes, they do camping and other outdoor related content. The goal of the channel is to satisfy my creative need to help promote outdoors and nature and to get monetized so I can do this on a more full-time basis. And the question is, I'm over 900 subs now. And oh, we did this one already. Okay, next up. So we've got Shark Scrapper. What's going on, my dude? Hope you're doing awesome. Does infotainment content. The goal of the channel is promoting my recycling and my business. And the question is, we live in North Carolina where we are dealing with the devastation of Hurricane Helene. I've shared some videos of my recovery, but they are inconsistent with my recycling content. I'll wrap them up in a specific playlist. But is there anything else I should consider to avoid confusing the algorithm? Yeah, like if you are not talking about recycling in some way around that content, you might end up bringing a lot of attention to the channel, which might look great, initially. But if the goal is to promote your recycling, your recycling business, then in that particular case, you might bring in a lot of people that don't really care about, the recycling side. And then therefore what happens is, let's say you have a video just blow up. What can happen is that video that does really great and you're really proud of, and you're like, all right, this is doing awesome. That video, because it did so well, it can make it hard for the other videos to do well that you publish after it, because those people were super engaged in the content and all of that. And when that happens, then YouTube's going to be like, hey, you loved the last video you watched, so here, check this new one out. And then they don't care about recycling, and therefore they're not going to click on it. Then they're not going to come in and watch the video, and that's going to tell YouTube that it's not a good video. So because of that, you just want to be really careful and make sure that anything that you're doing for your channel makes sense to the people that you are trying to reach. But on the other side of that, I'm super happy that that you made it through the hurricane okay, and that everything is okay on your end. That's I watched some of that stuff on the internet. Holy cow. Holy cow. Okay. So next up, yeah, I think that was because I think there were actually two that came through. Like one of them that I saw, some of the videos, people had water in their house to where it was like, like the whole like bottom floor of their house was just like completely covered. Just absolutely crazy. Next up, we got Seen Unseen YT. They upload every other day. The type of channel is entertainment, but I'm confused if I'm making relevant videos. And the goal of the channel is to monetize and become financially independent. The question is, can you please check my channel and see if the videos I posted are relevant to my niche, please? Also, please see if the thumbnails need working. So just for fun, I'm just going to take a quick glance here, see what you got. So if we look, Zach Milk reacts to Liam's death, and then we got Leon here again. How unforgettable movie scenes were made. Beyonce's shocking connection, and 5 amazing facts about your dreams. No, I would say that these videos are not relevant to each other. So one of them here, right? You're talking about pop culture and music. Another one, you're talking about old movie scenes, not something that's relevant right now. And then you have 2 other ones related to music with One Direction with that dude that, passed recently. So you have 3 videos that are about things that are happening now. You have one about dreams, which is just a fact video that doesn't, that's not for that same audience. And then you have the unforgettable, iconic music scenes or movie scenes of like old movies. So yeah, I would say that, these are definitely not. And because of your logo, where you have, Seen Unseen, everything looks like, in terms of your branding, it looks like cinema-like. And I'll just show everybody this really quick, just so, so I'm not just, so you don't think that I'm just over here screaming at the clouds. Let's see here. Yeah, so here with all of your branding, you can see that with this, that it's, like I feel like this, everything here should be about movies, but you have one thing here that is about movies, right? So because of that, I would definitely, consider those sorts of things. Hidden gems of, okay, now you're doing the entertainment world. Okay, so that's a little bit different than what I'm seeing up here. Fascinating facts on music, TV, and video games. Okay, this one is irrelevant to music, TV, and video games. And same thing, man. Like I would either pick like current pop culture, or go with stuff from the past. Yeah, you can mix them, but if you want to ride trends and that kind of stuff, and you want to grow this quickly, then I would focus more on the on this sort of thing than I would looking into the past. Not going to spend too much time on that because, I don't plan to look at a bunch of channels today, but just wanted to pull that up because you asked something very specific. So Mazzy Artistry, the type of channel is art with lore about my own superheroes and villains. The goal of the channel is to entertain my artisters, viewers, that's what I call them, with my stories and artwork to get those big bags, if you know what I'm saying. I do. Okay, so this is a long one, so I'm going to just kind of skim through this. Let's see here. My review channel is going to become skits for me to do real life skits. Mazzy 2 will be a channel talking about whatever in gameplay. For my variety gaming channel, how do I choose what games to play? Okay, so here's the thing. So right out of the gate, it looks like you're going to start doing multiple channels. So a few things that I recommend is one, it's perfectly okay to do multiple channels, okay? But when it comes to multiple channels, if you're still at the point where you're having trouble figuring out what content to make, then I would not go after multiple channels because then you're going to have that problem amplified. Instead, get your workflow together around the type of content that you're making, whatever it is. Once you get that workflow together, you know how to come up with video ideas, you learn how to get people to click, you learn how to get people to enjoy the content, and you can do that repeatedly, over and over and over again. That's when you're like, okay, now I can go and do this, right? Now let me start another channel or just start a new channel and focus on that one, right? But I would definitely focus. And the reason for that is I'm sure you've heard the analogy. Of, like if you have a magnifying glass and you focus that magnifying glass on something, then, if the sun's behind you, then it's likely to end up catching fire, right? If you are moving that magnifying glass around, then in that particular case, it's probably not going to catch anything on fire because there's no real focus, okay? Same exact thing. If the beam's real wide, then, it's not going to catch anything on fire. But if you isolate that beam and you really focus that beam in, then, then you can, break rocks, with that, intensity. So because of that, I would really make sure that you focus on, picking an audience to serve and a niche of content to make, and getting all of your workflow together and figuring all that stuff out before you overburden yourself with multiple channels. Multiple channels are fine, but I would make sure that you get all of the foundational stuff in order first before you walk down that path. Let's see here. Next up, Shane Plays. Glad that you like the setup. This is my casual setup. So this is my, usually if I do video calls or, whatever, I'm here. But the last 2 times I've streamed from home, I stream from here. Normally I stream from back over here in this setup. But today, because I was out with D and we went and we met up, and he was like, yeah, I'm feeling better, but I'm not quite sure yet if I'm going to be good to go for tonight. So we went and had a coffee, had some dinner, all that stuff. And, by the time all of that was finished, it was like, oh, okay, well, now I got to hurry up and get home. So I had to rush home, get everything together. So I didn't have time to, get all of that stuff together over there. So I just turned this on real quick and then went for it. Justina's Kitchen watching from Sweden. Awesome. Nice to see you. Let's see here. So Robin Peter says, teleprompter tips to look real and authentic. So I'm not the best at teleprompters. That's something that I'm working on. I actually got, I don't know if you can see it back here, but I got the Elgato prompter, and I find it to be super efficient, but I'm also having that thing where I'm trying to get better at actually communicating with it, because for certain things like reading ads and, those types of things, maybe not something for the YouTube channel, but when you're doing other things, it can be super helpful. And in some cases it can for the YouTube channel too. I've used it in some live streams where when the live stream starts and I have to introduce somebody, I just put all that stuff in the teleprompter and then, I'll just go through it that way. But in terms of reading it, here's what I recommend, or at least from what I found so far, is when you are trying to use a teleprompter, try to just kind of do it in chunks. And when you're recording the video, try to remember that you can edit the video. If you're live streaming, you can't. So because of that, you might have to make things, a little bit tighter, make sure that the scroll speed, works with what it is that you're doing, make it voice activated if you possibly can, so that it follows your voice like the Elgato prompter does. But when it comes to video content, one of the advantages that you have is you can just do okay, here's one line or one short paragraph. I'm just going to read through that. And then I'm going to pause for a second. And then I'm going to read through the next one. And then I'm going to read through the next one, pause, read through the next one, and so on. And then you repeat that. And then you put it all together in the editing process. And then by doing that, instead of sitting there and trying to make sure you're caught up and, all of that, you're actually, just reading the thing, giving yourself the break, reading the thing. So every block or words or every block of words that you say, you get to kind of reset your brain and bring new energy to that block of words. Just be mindful of how you ended the previous phrase or the previous sentence so that you can, you know, start the new one in the right way. Which brings me to another thing. So I wasn't going to talk about this, but since they literally brought up teleprompters, I'm going to anyway. So check this out. So as part of my app thing and learning how to build apps, I'm like, if I come up with an idea, I'm like, okay, you know, let me see if this is possible. And then I'll start, you know, just kind of messing with the idea. Check this out. So this is one. And I've only got like 4 of these in here, by the way. I'm not making like 100 apps at once. I'm just like, you know, testing out some, you know, ideas. But check this out. So I was super stoked about this one. Let's see here. It's not that one, it's here. Okay, so check this out. Okay, so this one, I'm not sure what I'm going to call it yet. Right now, I just have it as script cam, but it's going to be something teleprompter related because of the search, you know, search stuff. Because just like YouTube has search optimization, and just like, you know, Google has search optimization, the app stores have that too. So I just have this right now as like a placeholder. But basically, with this, you can, you know, write your script, whatever that happens to be. And here, I just have this filled out for testing. So I just did a thing like if somebody's in the comments and I see it and they're like, hey, I'm a new viewer, then as part of my creator keyboard, I have this block of text, welcome to Nimmin, blah, blah. So with this, I just dumped that in there a bunch of times so I could, you know, kind of see this. But check this out. So how this is going to work is it's going to look completely different when it's finished. But after I do the new creator one, this one's up next. But if you hit record video, then it puts the script right up here, right up by the camera, right? So then if we, you can adjust the control speed, and this is going to look different too, by the way. This is like, I did this in like 2 hours. This is like a really rough version, but you can adjust the width to make sure your eyes don't move around too much. You can adjust the font size as well. And then you hit record. Of course, you'd have to be like in position. And then welcome to Nimmin. I hope you enjoy the content. Just so you know, we stream every Saturday at 9 a.m. Eastern, answering viewer questions. So if you need help, feel free to swing by. And one of the cool things with this is, you know, that just recorded the video. And let me take this down for a quick second and then I'll show you. So the cool thing about this is that in the chat right now, people are probably like, don't care. But I'm just, you know, I'm just showing you anyway. But basically here, if you look at my eyes, because, you know, it's so close there, like it almost looks like I'm looking at the camera, right? So one thing that I'm going to try to get in here is, I know NVIDIA has the option, and I know my brother told me today that Apple has the option too, to where you can, you know, adjust where the eyes are looking. So I'm going to see if I can get that added in here too. But that is also on my list. I'm just trying to create like a little suite of helpful tools for us as content creators. So that's just one of the ones that I have on the roadmap. Let's see here. So, but yeah, glad you mentioned teleprompter. Shane Plays.
Super chat.
Thanks for the super chat. Says your channel is golden. Helped me out a lot. Awesome. Glad that you are enjoying the content. Thank you for the super chat. And really quick, I have to step away for 30 seconds. I'll be right back.
Get me a Joe, I'll be getting my fix in my kitchen, but look at the logo, the plug for the show. Whoa. It don't matter the flavor, I'm gonna get haters. A cup or a pot of the gold, I just need you to hold for a little bit longer. The song ain't a joke, it's a banger, you know or you don't. You will hang or you won't, but this thing isn't stopping till it's at the top. And I go back upstairs, man, I hope I don't drop it, I know that it's hot. It might seem one's enough, but apparently not. Take a cinnamon shot, mix it up on the spot. Give it a try, you might like it a lot. Need to hit the coffee maker, get another cup. Fiending for caffeine, I need it in my mug. I need to hit the coffee maker, get another cup. Fiending for caffeine, I need it in my mug. Need to hit the coffee maker, get another cup. Fiending for caffeine. I need it in my mug. I need to hit the coffee maker, get another cup. Fiending for caffeine. I need it in my mug. Cheers, put your mugs up here. Put your cups up here. Put your tumblers up here. Now drink it, cheers. Put your cups up here. Put your mugs up here. Put your tumblers up here. Now drink it, drink it, drink it. Hit the sub button, hit the like button. If you're having fun, comment, type something. If you're laying back, leaning in, engage. Just take a second to smash the whole page.
All right. So let's see here. So next question that we have on the list, we did Mazzy already. So next up, let's go budget EDC gear is the next channel. Popcorn, Shark Scrapper. Hey, Magic Prepper, what's going on? So the budget EDC gear, they are getting ready to start their channel. They currently don't have one. The type of channel is everyday carry gear reviews. The goal of the channel is carry gear reviews. And the question is, I'm a brand new channel. At what point in my subscriber count should I start going live? So depends, as everything, right? So when it comes to going live, you can go live as a means to help you grow your channel. You can go live as a means to connect with the viewers that are, already interacting with your channel, which is what this stream right here is for me. You can go live as a means to practice going live so that as things start progressing and you do start having viewers coming in, that you're ready for it, right? So what I recommend is that if you want to just learn how to go live, that you do some of that now before you grow a big subscriber count. And the reason for that is because it gives you the opportunity to make all the mistakes and do all those things where you don't have as many people watching, and that gives you the opportunity to just kind of have those blunders and not have as many people see it if that's something that you care about. If it's not something that you care about, then in that case you can wait and kind of do trial by fire later down the road. But when it comes to the subscriber count, your subscriber count isn't as important as the people that are consistently interacting with your content is. So if you have like a clear value that you can give through your content, then in that case, you might find that if you go live, that even if you don't have a lot of subscribers, because YouTube still recommends live streams just like it does videos while you're live, you might find that if you have a good thumbnail there and a good title and that you are doing something good during the live stream, you might find that your live stream might end up doing better than some of the videos themselves do. That happens sometimes too. So because of that, I think that if you are wanting to go live, that it is something that you should experiment with, quickly, just for the sake of seeing how it goes, right? Because you might find out that like you might be an awesome live streamer, way better. Like people might love your live streams in comparison to how they interact with the videos, or, it might be the same or maybe worse, but the idea is you won't know until you actually give it a shot. So I would definitely try it just so you can understand the technology behind it, see how you like it and all that stuff, so you can get all that stuff out of the way. But then from there, if you're going to try to use live streaming to grow your channel, then in that case, I wouldn't look at live streaming as like, okay, my stream has to be an hour or 2 hours or 3 hours or 45 minutes or 30 minutes or anything like that. I would look at it as, okay, I'm going to make a piece of content live. And then when you make that piece of content live, it can be 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. You can technically do it for, an hour longer if you want. But the idea is instead of it feeling like a live stream, you try to make it feel like a video. So instead of starting the stream, being like, hey, what's going on, blah, 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 so on and so forth. Instead, you start it with a hook, just like you would with a video. And then you get into the actual content of the video. All this is going to require planning, but you get into the actual content of the video, you take people through whatever content it is, and then you end the stream when you're finished with the content. And again, that can be short. So the idea there is that you practice making the content live, and that gives you some short form content, not short form, not like shorts, but it gives you some, content that you can also have out available on your channel that still adds value to the people as they find it. So that's a, good way to kind of dip your feet into live streaming as well. So on my channel, I did a news series for a year. I might start ramping that back up again because YouTube is, starting to be consistent again on rolling out features. So with the creator news, YouTube creator news that I did, that particular live stream, some of those streams are like 5 minutes long. Some of them are 10 minutes. There was one where like YouTube music, you know, when they put that out, creator music, when they put that out, there was all kinds of like weird things that creators needed to know about it. So we went on the stream and talked about it for like 30 minutes in that particular case. But the idea is that you know, just make the content for as long as it needs to be, and then you wrap it up. And also when you wrap it up, you also let them know, hey, I've got other videos here that you can check out if you enjoyed this. So go ahead and click into that now. But you do all of those best practices around, you know, around making video content, but you apply them to your live stream. So I wouldn't look at it necessarily around like, you know, your subscriber count. I would look at it more as regular view count, getting experience, those types of things, and give it a shot. But one thing that you can do is, which is what I did, is way back in the day, 10 years ago, I had a live stream that I did. It was a thumbnail tutorial live stream. And on that live stream, I think I had 2 people come through that live stream. I think my channel might have had like, I don't know, 200 subscribers on it or 300 subscribers on it or whatever. But I had 2 people come from that stream like, oh my God, there's people here. What's going on? Right? It like totally interrupted my flow of the, you know, thing that I was doing. But my purpose for that stream though was to learn how to use OBS at that time. So because of that, best way to do it is actually by going live and using it. After that, I didn't go live for a while. I didn't go live until I had, after that, until I had, I think it was around 12,000 subscribers. And then YouTube rolled out their live streaming on a mobile device. And then I went live there. And then I was an addict from that point. Because there it was like, hey, let's go live and just kind of, you know, go live. And, you know, it was an awesome experience on my end, had a lot of fun, got a lot of great feedback from it. And then I've been addicted ever since. So, but, you know, everybody's experience with that will vary. Let's see here. Pristine Gameplay. What's going on? Hope you're doing great. Yellow Shirt Dad. Nice to see you in here. RVing with G. What's going on? RVing with G says, keep your live to an hour. Yeah, some, you know, for some people, you know, some people will do like long live streams. We used to do 7-hour live streams and people, you know, would hang out for 7 hours. We've done live streams before that have spanned multiple days. We've done, you know, 24-hour streams before. Yeah, like, you know, all kinds of different stuff you can do, but there isn't a rule, right? Like a live stream can be, you know, 30 minutes, an hour. Like if you want to be reasonable about it, you know, then a live stream, you know, 30 minutes, an hour is a great approach. If you want to, you know, really extend it because you're doing Q&As, stuff like that, then in that case, you know, stretching it, you know, longer than an hour can definitely be the thing. Like if I do training on another YouTube channel, like for example, let's say I go live on like the TubeBuddy channel and I do a training over there, or let's say, you know, I do something specific on like let's say I do channel reviews over on TubeSpanner. Well, when I do that, then I'll do like the actual content for a while, and then I'll do like a Q&A. So that Q&A will usually add like another 30 minutes if people have questions, but sometimes they don't. So, you know, so it really comes down to, you know, what you're trying to do and the purpose of the stream itself. That was a long way to say, just like give it a shot and see what you think about it and see how people respond to it. So next up, we've got, oh yeah. And man, I just saw that and then the chat moved. Jerry mentioned that you can also use that content for shorts. So you can live stream just for the practice, and then you can either leave that live or you can go into Opus Clip, take the link from your live stream, drop it into there, and then have Opus Clip make you some clips, and then you've got some free short form content as well, or some low cost short form content where you don't have to actually, you know, remake videos. So you've got, you know, those types of options as well. Ron Trains and Things says, I don't normally watch long streams over an hour, but Nick's live runs in the background while I work on Saturdays. Love it. Love it. Yeah, that seems to be kind of, you know, with this stream, like I know the feedback that I get is like, you know, people will say that they'll listen to it like while they're getting ready. I've got people that, you know, like listen to me at work, to where they'll either watch it live or they'll, you know, listen on the replay, like while they're working. And, you know, they use it as a way to learn about, you know, YouTube. So while they're working on while they're working at their normal job, so that when they go to, you know, when they get home and they're ready to work on their YouTube channels after work, that they've, you know, they've got all that, you know, information there that they've learned, which I think is pretty cool. And Justina's Kitchen says, I'm afraid to do live. Yeah, the thing with live streaming is it's not something that you have to do, right? It's something that, you know, if you are interested in it, then, you know, giving it a shot. But the thing that I know people are concerned about is just like, making mistakes or, tech going down or, saying something bad or, something like that. And, those are definitely concerns because those types of things do happen. Yeah, English Fun Zone says, or making dinner. But those types of things absolutely do, happen. But, at the end of the day, people, when it comes to live streaming, people are a lot more tolerant than they are when it comes to video content. Let's see here. So next up on the list, we've got Brandon Roberts Dev. Does software development. The goal of the channel is to provide useful information about web development along with making extra income. Question is, I currently target a specific tool/framework for building web applications, which I'm known for. Should I expand to using other areas to expand my channel and subscribers? So if the goal of your channel is to provide useful information about web development along with making an extra income, then in that particular case, here I'm actually just going to go look and see exactly what it is that you do while I'm answering this question. Because there's a couple things to think about. Let's do it this way. So when you are known for a specific thing and you lean into that and you become the person for that thing, there's tons of value in that, especially when it comes to making money. So it's the reason for that. Let me explain it. So let's say, because I see right here, like this particular video is like, Java development. So let's see what else you've got. Analog and Angular. Yeah. Okay. So if you are doing like, any type of development and you have like a certain language that you're using or certain stuff that you're using and you become the go-to for that stuff, there's tons of value in that because one, if I'm trying to learn how to do that and I run across your YouTube channel, like my channel, if somebody's trying to learn about YouTube and they run across my channel for the first time and they explore my channel, they go to my channel page and they hit my videos tab and they see all the different content on there, they're gonna be like, holy cow, I can learn literally, I don't need a course. I can learn literally everything I need to know about YouTube by listening to these live streams and watching these videos, right? That is what you want for you with that type of content, right? You want people to go there that are, that are trying to learn something and be able to make it to where every video that they watch on your channel or most of the videos that they watch on your channel are relevant to them and will teach them that thing. So if you are, because I see one thing you're talking about here is a component to deploy a full stack application. So if you are doing, like full stack stuff, and you're showing people like all of the different aspects of, web development and open source, then in that particular case, then that does give you that, leeway to be like, okay, we're going to make database content because people need to know about that if they're going to be, doing web development. We're going to make, UI content because, people and UX content because people need to know about that stuff if they're doing web development. We're going to make, tools list videos because, there's tools that help people get through this stuff. And we got to let people know about that. So basically the idea is think about who it is that you're trying to reach with the content. And in your case, it's people that are interested in web development and open source, and think, okay, am I trying to reach people that are going to be interested in a particular technology, or am I trying to reach people that are trying to learn everything about it? And based on what your answer is to that, that's going to tell you what the next move should be. So if you are trying to reach people that are into, the whole pie, then that's where it's like, okay, well, let's talk about these other, languages or these other technologies along with what it is that I'm currently doing. But if you're like, hey, I want to be the person on this, then in that case, just try to stay, as consistent as you can with, with the one thing instead. Especially about making the extra income, because, okay, so here's a couple parts to this. One is it makes your channel a resource for a certain type of content for a certain type of viewer that's interested in very specific things, right? Two, because you are in front of a certain type of viewer that's interested in very specific things, it also makes you valuable to companies that also want to get in front of that same audience. So because of that, if you're like, okay, if I'm talking about this specific thing or just web development as a whole, then in that case, that can also make me valuable as long as I'm consistently trying to reach that audience that's interested in either that language or that technology, or, going after the whole pie, trying to figure out everything about, web development. So yeah, it's beneficial all the way around to first get clear on the audience, and then that's going to help you answer, that very specific question. Because it's not just about, subscribers. It's about, where you can add the most value, who's going to respond to you the best, what value you can provide, and just like the long game. And part of your long game is that extra income and providing useful information about web development. And both of those, you could go either way, and both of them will, end up being good long term. But the more important part is figuring out, which audience that you want to serve so that you can start working on that now. So that over the next, 5 years, you make an awesome resource for people to be able to go and learn from you. Stanley Orchard, what's up, dude? Nice to see you in here. Gaming Brigade, what's going on? Chatty Cathy, what's up? Pristine Gameplay Walkthroughs, thank you for the super chat. Says, thoughts on gameplay walkthroughs with no commentary since I do on my main channel. What do you think about it? Yeah, so me personally, I'm not a huge fan of like walkthroughs with no commentary in them, but I know some people are. Like some people are so into that content creators that do that will put no commentary on the actual thumbnails. So because of that, there is a market for it. But me personally, my thoughts on gameplay walkthroughs with no commentary, not me. The reason I don't like it is because like it makes it kind of hollow. Right. Like one thing that I love about YouTube is just the personal side of it. Right. Like I love watching creators that I like the creator. So if I'm watching, gameplay with no commentary, there's no creator there for me to like because I'm just watching a video. So I could technically do that by watching any video and just turning the volume off, right? Any walkthrough video and just turn the volume off. I could get that same thing. So there's nothing that actually makes you stand out there. But when you start adding your commentary, your thoughts, your opinions, your personality, when you start adding all those things, then suddenly you have something that people can connect to you for. Because when it comes to, gameplay walkthrough with no commentary, somebody can literally watch any video on YouTube that's doing that same exact thing. But when it comes to gameplay with commentary or walkthroughs with commentary, then in that particular case, then people will be like, oh, this person's jokes are hilarious, or, wow, the things that they're saying are really insightful, or, man, they're really showing me some cool stuff about this game, or, whatever the thing is, or, hey, their opinions align with mine, so I'm going to come and hang out here, right? Or their opinions challenge mine, so I'm going to come here for that, right? So it gives people something to connect to. So here, Sue says, where is D today? Sue, D is a little under the weather today. So he wasn't able to stream today. We did get the opportunity to, grab some coffee and some food because he's feeling better. But he, you know how it is, like when you get sick and then you're like, yeah, I got this. And then you go out into the world and then you're like, okay, maybe I shouldn't have came out today. It's kind of what happened. So right now he's just, taking it easy and, just relaxing. Tango in the kitchen. Thank you for the super chat. Says, I was surprised when my watch hour increased because I've not uploaded a video in a while. Yeah, that kind of stuff is funny, right? Like when you just have videos that just kind of pop out from nowhere when you don't upload, right? Yeah, that's just kind of an interesting thing that can happen. But it's a testament to good content, though. Right? Like when you are publishing videos and you don't upload and like everything still, keeps moving forward, it's just a testament to, people enjoy the content. They get value from what it is that you're doing. So that's definitely a win. But yeah, in terms of like sometimes the watch time, increasing when you don't upload. Yeah, because YouTube, like if you still have people interacting with your channel, which you do, then in that particular case, YouTube can still be like that one viewer comes in, never seen your stuff before. They come in, they interact with your content. They love it. YouTube's like, hey, here's more content for you. And then they, also enjoy it. That process still happens if you're uploading or not. It's just when you're uploading on a more regular basis, you just have more new content going out to introduce yourself to more new people, right? So. Let's see here. Okay, next up. Question number 18. We've got one step. What's going on, dude? Does FGC and RPG gaming? The goal of the channel is to turn my skills and knowledge into a fun and profitable career. The question is, the new Shorts update is here. Shorts can now be 3 minutes or less. So is there even a point in making long form video that's 2.5 minutes? Yes. This is one of those things. Well, here, let me finish reading your question. When you can just turn that video into a short now, is the ad revenue the same? I asked because I made 2 videos yesterday and each ended up being about 2.5 minutes long. And I thought about making them shorts, but decided, as the update isn't fully pushed yet, to make them long form with thumbnails and everything. But what's the difference? Meaning with the update, when you make a video that's 2 minutes long, why make a thumbnail and stuff when you can just upload it as a short? So one, landscape, I call them regular, landscape 16:9 videos still will get higher ad rates on them. But the same rules apply. So with the regular long form, regular 16:9 videos, let's say you have a 2-minute video regardless. One's vertical, one is landscape. The landscape video, view per view is going to make more money. So if both of them get, 10,000 views, the landscape video is going to make more money. Okay, so there's one. Two, when it comes to landscape videos, you still have to have the skill of getting people to click, and all of that stuff, coming up with a good topic that somebody's going to find interesting, helping them identify that topic through your packaging, getting them to click and come in and enjoy it. So you have that hurdle. Whereas with YouTube Shorts, once your video gets over there, it's just going to show up in somebody's feed. So less is required there to grab somebody's attention and hold it, because now you're just grabbing their attention in the video content. You don't have to do it graphically and textually through your packaging for the 16:9 content. So when it comes to the difference there, money and then effort too, because like you mentioned, when it comes to knowing it's going to go into the short side, then you don't have to worry about putting a thumbnail on it. So, it's just less effort involved there too. But yeah, the big differences, it's really money and also where you think your audience is. So let's say that the type of content that you're making, which in your case is doing gaming content, you're like, hey, you know what? There's probably a ton of gamers that are hanging out in the short shelf. So since they are, maybe it would make sense for me to give them the content there. But here's something interesting. And I don't know if he's still in here or not, but I haven't asked him this yet. But one thing that I think is also going to be interesting for us, and I'm not sure what the rules are yet, is let's say that you make a 2-minute video of a game play, but you record it in 9:16. When you render that video out, same 2-minute video as a 16:9 video. You make a thumbnail for it, you add a title to it, add a description, do all the stuff, and then you publish that as a landscape video. And then you're like, okay, well, that video is done. Get that up, get that scheduled. And then you're like, okay, you know what? Let's make a vertical version of this so that we can get it over in the short shelf. Then you go ahead and you make another, you don't have to make another video. You just re-edit the video that you made in terms of the ratio, move things around a little bit, in terms of the, because the vertical version, you're going to have to focus, you're going to have to, focus on particular areas of the 9:16. But you move that around so it makes sense for the short shelf, but it's still a, full 2-minute video that's the same as the 9:16 video. But since you have 2 videos now as that 2-minute video, you just get to do both. And you have one that goes out in the 16:9 long form. And then for just a tiny little bit of extra effort, you can now make that also a YouTube short and then put that out into the short shelf as well. So K&J Lumber Products is, what is he saying? So what I'm getting at here is you can make one video, edit it twice. The first one is for long form viewers. The second one is for the short shelf. So this is if you're making short content, right? Because YouTube has the option now, or they're rolling it out, where you can upload vertical videos of up to 3 minutes long. So the hypothesis that I was running through, or the idea that I was running through, not the hypothesis, the idea that I was running through was that you could have the same exact video, edit that video once, as long as it's under 3 minutes, edit that video once for long form, edit that video again for vertical, and then you can have the same video going into the short shelf and going into the long form videos. Dale Roberts in the house. What is up, my man? Nice to see you in here, dude. It's been quite some time. I hope that you are doing fantastic. Hope that your book sales are through the roof. Hope everything is doing great for you, my man. Awesome to see you in here. Yeah, Jerry says you can already do that with, under 60 seconds content. Absolutely you can. But, 3 minutes though, like that's a lot more leeway because, for example, let's say you make videos that are, 6 minutes long, or videos that are 3 minutes long. In that particular case, you're still, good. And you can take that same content, just kind of put it somewhere else. Okay, here we've got, okay, so Renee did reply to this. Thank you for this, Renee. He says, you should probably customize them slightly. CTA for end cards on the video on demand for related video, link on short, but otherwise it should be fine. Just don't republish the same thing over and over. Yeah, so I think if you're moving it around on the short shelf, then that would, create something different. But yeah, you would definitely optimize them, differently for each one. And then he says that if you do republish the same thing over and over again, meaning you have that same 2-minute video and then you upload it a bunch of times into the shorts shelf, and then you upload it a bunch of times into, the 16:9, that can be seen as spam. But basically, and if they're on different channels, try to make it clear that you own both channels. That's a good tip also. So like if you are uploading them to separate channels as well, to try to expand your brand that way, so that one channel is reaching one group of people, another channel is reaching another group of people with a little bit of overlap, then in that particular case, just making some type of bridge so that people know that you're involved with both. Yeah, that's good. Thank you for that. And that's just Tara says, oh my God, I love Dale. I love Dale too. Yep, awesome. So yeah, he says it's been a long time, and yes, my series launch has been wild. Yeah, good. Love it, dude. We definitely need to catch up. We definitely need to catch up sometime. Let's see here. So just looking here real quick. Okay, all right. So next up on the list here, we've got DIY microbiology. They upload when they have time. It's a DIY channel. The goal of the channel is to become recognized. And the question is that my channel is roughly categorized as a DIY channel, but most of my DIY projects are long-term, involving many failures and experimental attempt. Would this kind of DIY content be suitable for making into a series of documentary-style videos similar to challenge series videos, or should I stick to the traditional format of filming everything first and then editing it into a single video? I think that, now with like TV viewership and things like that, like people definitely still watch long videos on YouTube. I would experiment with both. So like I would try to, do like a playlist of, the project. And I would also, make one video that's like a longer video of like the entire process documentary style as well. And, publish both and then, run them head to head and see what it is that, that your viewers respond to the most. Because at the end of the day, all we're trying to do is meet the people where they're at that care the most about, the content that we're making. So if that's what we're trying to do, you might find that, your viewers love the documentary stuff on TVs and they just watch the heck out of it. Or you might find that they prefer, doing it on a playlist on their phone. But if you give both of those a shot, then that's going to give you the information that you need in terms of, like what to do moving forward based on how, your viewers are responding to that. But yeah, I would definitely try both. And another thing you can do too is you can, isolate them down into individual videos to where each one has their own intro, their own recommendation to that next video through the end screen, things like that. And then, it's a standalone video there, but then also, put together like a, like a full documentary that also uses, that footage and whatnot. Shelly saves the day in here too. Oh my goodness. What is this? What is this today? We've got Dale in here. We've got Shelly in here. This is fantastic. Nice to see you in here, Shelly. Hope that you are doing great. The best boots on YouTube right here. She's got the best boots on YouTube. She actually has YouTube boots where there's like a YouTube logo on her boots. That's being into YouTube right there. Beaver Zero, what's up, dude? Nice to see you in here as well. Let's see here. So next up, we've got number 21, cruising through these today. NDE Stories does, they upload daily content. The type of channel is Faceless channel with near-death experience stories. The goal of the channel is monetizing and going full-time with a couple more channels. And the question is, have you had to work on your channel being depressed and burned out? Can you share? Says, let's see. So I've made some videos on like mental health on my channel because it's definitely something that, people, need to talk about. I've burned out, when it comes to making content. I've been doing this for 10 years. And the hardest part was the starting point, because when I first started YouTube, it took me 5 months to get my first 150 subscribers on my channel. During that time, I was working on YouTube. And I also had the business where I was doing graphic design for people. So out of those two things, it ended up taking a considerable amount of time. And then I ended up working on another channel. And I worked on that channel for like 9 months while still doing the graphic design stuff. And while both of those things were taking place, I knew I wanted to do YouTube. I was trying to get out of the graphic design. And I was like, okay, this is definitely, I definitely want to go towards YouTube, but like I got this, job essentially that I got to do. So because of that, I was just doing too much, and that's just not sustainable. And it kind of made me it kind of took the excitement away from things a little bit, and it kind of gave me that like overwhelm thing, and all of that. But at the end of the day, if you take that break when you need to, and all of that, and you make sure that you are monitoring what's going on, then you should be able to get through that burnout side of it. And one of the things that really helped me also is adding a clear purpose to what it is that I'm trying to do, and adding very specific, goals and things like that. Because when you do that sort of thing and you put a plan in place to accomplish said goals, then in that case, you can start to see like a light at the end of the tunnel, at least for me, right? I don't know if it's going to be this way for everybody, but I could see the light at the end of the tunnel. So basically, one thing that I did when I first started like trying to actively monetize YouTube, and that was after I worked on another channel, came back to this channel, is I built a website for this channel. I started being aggressive on affiliate marketing, things like that. And I actually had a calendar that I kept, and I wish I would have kept this because I think this would be a good thing just to show people. But I had a calendar that I kept. And in that calendar, like I marked down like, at the top of it, how much money that I needed to make every month. And out of that, in order to go full-time on YouTube. And what I would do is I would start tracking. Anytime I got like an affiliate payout, I would, write that down, or an affiliate notification. I would, write that down. Anytime, I got like an AdSense payout, I would write that down. Anytime that, anything happened, anytime I got a sale on my website that was generated from YouTube, or I had somebody hit me up for work because I started doing branding packages for people on YouTube when I was getting started, to where basically I would build like, animated end screens, channel art, lower thirds, a whole branding kit for YouTube channels, thumbnail templates, stuff like that. And basically through those orders and all that stuff, I started just writing down every day, how much I'm pulling in. And I did it visually, right? On like a 30-day view calendar, so that I could start seeing like every day, am I generating something? Because that's what I was trying to accomplish, is trying to hit that main amount, but I wanted to be making money every single day. So as part of my thing, when I was tracking YouTube and I was starting to see the light of the tunnel, is I was able to go back through that calendar. And it's like, month one, you've got like, maybe 5 days out of the calendar that have money attached to them. Month two, you've got like, 10 days or 15 days. Month three, you've got, more days on there. And then next thing several months down the road, you've got, like money coming in every day. So, doing that for me was my way of seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, because I got to literally watch that progression take place. And for me, every time I got to write those numbers into the calendar, that was just one more thing for me to say, like, okay, I'm getting closer, right? So as long as I can just keep moving forward on this, then, I'm getting closer to, being able to do this full time. And for me, that was the light at the end of the tunnel that kind of helped me, be able to see through that. 100% not a gamer channel. Awesome. Thank you. Super appreciate that. Glad you're enjoying the content. Shelly Safe says tracking monthly revenue is so important. I used to do this for a year, live every month. Yep. And, for me, just because I'm like a visually minded person, because, I'm just like, I'm, like a creative at heart in terms of, just like design and, stuff like that. And, just all that stuff. So I'm just a visually minded person. So for me, because, keeping track of like, QuickBooks and all that stuff and, just Excel sheets, all that stuff is great. But for me, just that visual representation that was just sitting on my desk every day was just a huge deal for me, just to kind of help me see the light at the end of the tunnel in terms of like, okay, I'm making progress towards this. Next up, we've got Chatty Cathy. Type of channel, don't know. Goal of the channel, there is no goal. The question is, hey Nick, my son had a child account. He has 0 subscribers. It's just a viewer account that I've set up for him. He's subscribed to the channels he's interested in, but there is a cap. I've tried subbing to channels on his account for him, ones I've deemed appropriate, but now it says you have too many subscriptions compared to your number of subscribers. And I watched other creators' video where she said that there's a cap. Do you know how many subscribers we can have? If not, do you know where or who I can go to? At either Team YouTube or YouTube creator liaison on Twitter, and they should be able to answer this question for you. This is more of like a viewer focused question, because I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure how many channels you're allowed to be subscribed to, especially if you've only got like a handful. The only thing that I think that could be causing a limitation is the account not being verified. So basically they have the option to where I had to do this because I made just a channel for my Creator Keyboard app so that if somebody's in the app and they're trying to figure out how to use it, they can hit a button and it goes to the tutorial channel. So on that channel, in order to get it verified, all I had to do is I had to do the video version, and all it did was just scan my face. So in your case, since you're the adult, just have it scan your face, and then that should get you through that particular part. And then hopefully, that will unlock that for you. Renee says, what's the question? So they're running into a problem where they hit a subscriber limit on their channel. So she's got an account for her son. He's got 0 subscribers, right? Because he's not like making content. He's just a viewer. And she's subscribed to channels that she approves of, and there's not a lot of them. And she's hit this limit where YouTube is saying that she can't subscribe to any more channels. So I'm not really sure what the solution is for that. So that's why I mentioned hitting you up, because I'm not really sure, what the issue is there. But I'm thinking it might be a verification thing. I'm not sure. Next, Regio TV Plus. They have a community TV channel. Goal of the channel is news and magazine about the region of Basel in Switzerland. The question is, since our videos are in Swiss German, which is not a written language, automatic subtitles don't work. Lately, we had one ad customer which was really upset at the subtitles because they have wood workshop. They say it in German, but it got translated into created by pigs. Oh, goodness. And says, can we disable auto subtitles to avoid these issues? Since we upload around 20 videos per week, I suggested to set the language as not defined instead of German, Switzerland. Man, I don't know. That's a really good question. I'm not sure if you can just completely omit, auto captions from a video or not. That's a really good question, because I've always seen them as like an asset in terms of like, this is going to help accessibility for it. But you're in a pretty unique circumstance in terms of, it's kind of making people think the wrong things about, what you're doing. So yeah, I'm not entirely sure. I wish I could help with that, but I don't know the answer to that one. Next up, we've got Kathy fitness content. Goal of the channel is to grow an active audience and to make this my full-time career. And the question about Creator Mix. Any new song, any new music dropping? I want to use some of the songs for fitness dance related content. I have a few songs in mind for fitness vlog, talking head video in mind, but I would like to find some good ones for fitness routine. So you can use those for your fitness routines. In terms of new music dropping, I know he has a huge hard drive, but it's just not a huge priority, for him to put those out. Because basically, like, once he gets the songs, he like masters them and all that stuff. So it's, a lot of work. So I know that he has plans to put them in, but I just don't know. I don't know exactly when that's going to happen. Dr. Wagnificent says, what would you recommend for gaming channels, shorts or long format? Depends on what you're trying to do. And I know that's not the answer that you're looking for, but it depends on what you're trying to do. So shorts are great for getting in front of people that might not have clicked on your videos. It's great for giving people like a quick, small, sample of what it is that you do. One thing that, content creators kind of, I'm not going to say it's incorrect, because, people's opinions are not incorrect, but like, some content creators look at shorts that like they're not effective if they're not driving people to the long form content. But those creators are kind of missing the bigger picture on you're meeting the viewers that want to consume that content at that moment in time, and they can enjoy your content there. They don't have to cross over. Yes, there's things about ad revenue, all that stuff. That's a whole other conversation. But when it comes to YouTube Shorts, the whole idea is to, get your content in front of people where they are, not necessarily where you want them to be or how you want them to respond, right? So, for example, like if you're doing long form content and you're doing like walkthroughs and things like that, and you're like, yeah, people are searching for this stuff. People are watching these longer videos on, this particular game, whatever. And I think for, some people that are watching on TVs or on computers, and even mobile devices, that they're, going to, enjoy this longer format content. So therefore I'm going to publish this for my audience. But I've also got some of these like really quick tips I can share, these like, little compilation things of these very particular things that are happening in the game, where I could make a, like, hey, here's like a speed run through this particular game, or here's, this other thing that I'm going regular, quickly, that could give a different offering to people in the short shelf. Or you could do something similar in the short shelf that you're doing in the long form and hope that some of those people come over. But the thing when it comes to YouTube Shorts is that when you look at it from the perspective of I can meet people where they are, then it adds a lot more value to what Shorts can do for you in terms of just bringing attention to you. When it comes to Shorts, the big hang up that people have is money if you're not getting tons of views on them, and the transference of the viewers from short form content to long form content, right? But if you remove both of those and you're like, hey, I'm just using Shorts as a way to, mine for the people that, might enjoy my long form content as well as the short form content, then in that particular case, just start thinking at scale, right? So sure, everybody that's going to watch your short is not going to be a perfect candidate for your long form content, but the people that really love your shorts, I find a lot of channels this way. I even find people on TikTok that I hunt for on YouTube because I love their shorter content over on TikTok, or I find them there first. But basically at scale, not everybody's going to enjoy your content enough to go and check out your long form content. But for the people that are really into what it is that you do and they really get a lot of value of it, those people are going to be like, I wonder what else this person has. And then they're going to go and they're going to check out your long form content too. So it's not necessarily about, it needs to be, 1 viewer, 10 viewers in shorts. That means that I need to get 10 people over into the long form. Just look at them as they're 2 different experiences that you get to provide for your viewers. And both of them, you get to meet them where they're at and how they're consuming content at that moment in time, and think how you can leverage that best. Let's see here. So for this, we have a service for this. It's called Creator Mix. So we don't have a ton of songs over there, but we do have a decent amount of songs. Here, I'll just show you really quick. So it's not my coffee songs, like those are mine. And I don't have those, freely available for people, but we do have an entire music resource called Creator Mix. If you just go to creatormix.com, you'll find it there. You can listen to the songs on like Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube Music, all that. We also have a YouTube channel for it, but the whole thing with this is, we've got, I think there's like, almost 200 songs here. It's 8 hours worth of royalty-free music that you can use in your content. And this is all, copyright-free stuff. So, obviously you can't package it up and sell it or, offer it again for free or anything like that. But if you want to use it in your videos, podcasts, if you have courses and you need music in the background, whatever, you can use it for any of that stuff. And it's all entirely free. But here's something that I want you to do if you are going to use Creator Music or Creator Mix, is if you go down to the very bottom of the website, there's a button down here to download the license. Here, I need to remove your comment so you can see this actually. So if you go down here to the very bottom, let me do the magnifier. That'll probably be better for this example. Let me make the magnifier bigger. We'll make it a circle, and then we will increase the zoom. There we go. If you come down here to the very bottom and you go to download license, then you want to save that to your computer. The reason for that is on YouTube, from time to time, their copyright ID tool, it'll match songs that are not supposed to be matched. So because the system isn't perfect, sometimes it'll be like, oh, hey, this song is this song, but it's not. So in order to dispute that without having to worry about anything, if you have this license, this is giving you full permission to use that music in your videos. So just download this and save it to your computer. And in the event that you either get a mismatch or a false match in Content ID, you can dispute it with peace of mind. Or if you have somebody trying to claim it fraudulently, you can also dispute that with peace of mind without having to worry about anything. But again, you can find that at creatormix.com. Let's see here. So next up, we've got Trying to Learn Bikes. They do motorcycle maintenance. The goal of the channel is making videos for the enjoyment of learning the process. 10:30, probably shouldn't be drinking that anymore. The goal of the channel is to make videos for the enjoyment of learning the process. And the question is, hey, Nick, I'm presently creating a year-end recap type video to post in late December. The strategy is a month-by-month compilation of stills and videos combined to make a fairly long video. May I mix in and use old videos that are standalone videos that I created and have been posted on my channel months ago without being penalized for repetitive content? If you make one compilation video at the end of the year, you're going to be fine. Yeah, I wouldn't worry about that. Because what you're doing is you're combining a bunch of different videos. You'll probably cut some of them a little bit short, things like that, cut out parts of some, things like that. So you're making a completely different experience for people using content that you already have available. 3 Words is the next channel here. They do audiobooks on the Bible is the type of channel. The goal of the channel is to give people access who may not have had time to read the Bible or holy books like the Quran. I like that you're doing like a spectrum there and you're not just focusing on one. That's interesting. The only downside of that is if somebody wants to listen to it, this isn't your question, but I'm just saying it, just kind of, thinking out loud here. But like, if you have Christians that are going to your channel and you have audiobooks about the Quran, some Christians might be turned away from that and vice versa. And that applies to most religions because everybody thinks that their religion is number one. So, and the only true one. So because of that, you might run into some issues there. And in addition to that, you also have things where you are not fully leveraging YouTube's recommendation system in the best way. So if you want to leverage YouTube's recommendation system in the best way, you want to make content for a very specific audience. So if your channel theme was about like, religious books of the world, then you would be targeting somebody that just wants to be educated on religion in general. But if you are, reading the Bible and you have Christians that are coming in and listening to it because they want to, just listen to the audio form, and you have Muslims that are coming in and they want to listen to the Quran in, audio form, then in that particular case, the problem is some of those Christians might get recommended the Quran content and vice versa. And just based on the nature of what it is that you are providing, those two don't play the best together. So it might end up hurting, your click-through rate and stuff like that. So just keep that in mind when it comes to this. But the question is, would adding questions like trivia to the channel be a good idea? It could be. Like that's where things like your community feed is great, to where you can get that direct interaction. You can just do a post there, and you can get that type of thing there. That's what that's for. There are quiz channels and stuff like that where the whole thing is like this or that, and that kind of stuff. So you can do that sort of thing. But I think that the community feed is best for that sort of thing, because if somebody's listening to an audiobook, they're listening, meaning they're not like engaged in watching it. And if they're not engaged in watching it, then in that particular case, the poll isn't really going to make a ton of sense, because they might be listening to it in headphones while they're taking a walk. They might be listening to it while they're cleaning the house. They might be listening to it, in other areas. And because of that, I just like try it, but I don't think that the quizzes and stuff like that would be a great fit for an audiobook channel. And really quick, Spunky Stream says, is YouTube pay to play? Absolutely not. It's actually the opposite. So all you have to do on YouTube is learn how to make content that people respond well to. And if people respond well to your content, then you don't ever have to pay. So the problem is people will come in and they'll use Google ads, or they'll use the YouTube promotion tab as a means to try to skip the important part, which is understanding the foundations of YouTube and learning the skills around the foundations of YouTube, in terms of how do I come up with good video ideas? How do I get people to identify those videos are about something that they care about? How do I get them to click on them? Once they click on them, how do I get people to enjoy this content? How do I make it in the best way that people will enjoy the most? Once you learn that part, then you don't have to pay for ads, because you're going to be making content that's good enough that will be competitive inside of YouTube's system. And if it's competitive inside of YouTube's system, then YouTube's going to show it to people, and they're going to keep showing it to people until it becomes not competitive for those groups that it's showing it to. Because the competitive content that serves the viewers the best is the content that is always going to get recommended the most. So because of that, it's not pay to play. And a lot of times, another thing that people will find is if they do try to pay to play, while they're paying, it looks great, right? While they're sitting there losing all this money, it's looking awesome. However, once they stop paying and they turn that faucet off, then I actually just had this conversation with somebody on Reddit because somebody was posting in there. I think it was in like the YouTubers group or maybe partnered YouTube. But one of the things that that they're like, man, I was doing ads and I got like 1,000 subscribers, but then like, you know, I stopped paying, and then like now my views aren't, you know, I'm not getting any views at all. Like, is this thing broken? Like, what's going on? And the problem is if you pay to get views in any way, either through Google Ads or through YouTube's promotional tab, then they're going to force your videos in front of people, right? But as soon as you stop paying and you turn that off, if you still haven't learned those foundational skills, then you're still not going to be able to get people to respond. So even if you got 1,000 subscribers from that, if you haven't learned those foundational skills, then when you publish your next videos without paying, then those people aren't going to respond because you haven't learned how to do that part yet, right? So then you basically spend a bunch of money for nothing, like literally for nothing, because by the time you get the skill set up to there, then those people have probably far moved on from what it is that you're doing. So because of that, I recommend that you go through the process of learning, which it sucks, right? I mean, let's be honest, just like going to the gym sucks if you want to get into shape, right? It's the same exact thing. Like, having to learn those skills sucks because it means that you're spending your time working on that stuff here, where in reality you're trying to be here, right? But you got to pay your dues, in order to get to here. And those dues are simply learning how everything works, learning the things that your audience cares about, and then learning the skills to make content that serves them and helps them identify it. Let's see here. Official Tim Tech says, do you think that I should only upload tech videos and shorts? If not, it'll hurt my click-through rate. Correct, Nick? So if you have a tech channel, Tim, hold on, let me see if, let me go into this chat here. Give me 1 second. I'm actually going to just check to see the specific content that you're publishing. Okay, yeah, so you're doing tech content. And since you're doing tech-related content, I would definitely stay focused on tech-related content. But one thing that I would do, though, just as a quick, idea here, is I would also I would get a little bit more clear on the sides of tech that you're providing here. Because like over here, you're talking about like 5-through breakthrough, and over here you're talking about like a coaxial service speed test on a website. And then here you're talking about why Apple Music is better than Spotify. Like, I would definitely like pick a particular type of tech enthusiast that you're going after. So for example, you have this one on what's inside the iPhone 16 Pro. So like, are you going after like people that are into phones? Are you going after people that are into like, like hacking their Wi-Fi stuff? Are you going after people that are into like the rules and laws around tech, like in this FCC inquiry video that you put up? Like, I would just get clear on that sort of thing so that you can make sure that you are, reaching the right people with what it is that you're publishing. Explore Norway is the next channel. They do travel advice for Norway. The goal of the channel is to help tourists to plan their Norway journey. And the question is, this is more of a general question, says, I recently got premium, and then I realized that most people start talking in their video within the first 100 milliseconds, which I find quite irritating. When I had ads, there was like a 1 second break between the ad ended and the video started, so it didn't feel that rushed. I usually wait 0.4 to 1 seconds before starting talking in my videos. Is there any good practice for that? Because on TV, they never start talking immediately at the beginning of a show or a section. So when it comes to when to start talking in your videos, I'm a big fan of like getting into it. And the reason for that is because if you structure the hook of your video to where even if somebody comes into it like a, like, oh, I clicked on this video, didn't realize my audio was on, let me take that second to turn on the audio. Then in that case, they're still going to hear the important parts, right? That's a good approach. When it comes to like TV and stuff like that, it's different because, like if you sit down for TV, you're kind of committing to stuff. So, they'll have long intros and they don't really have like a hook per se. And, most TV shows, so they might have like a recap, like, previously on, whatever. But like, with those, it's just a different experience. But with YouTube, you definitely want to get in there. And another thing to consider too, is when it comes to when you start talking in your videos, another problem with that is even with that 1 second that you wait, there's going to be a lot of people that are just scrolling on the homepage and they're going to stop and that autoplay is going to be going and they're going to miss that too. But they're going to come into the video. And when they come into the video, if there's some type of context where they're just trying to figure out what's going on, they'll just back it up and, play it from there. But as you're going through the video, this is where it's just helpful to just keep in mind, like, okay, if somebody's coming into this, yeah, I might say this thing, quickly, but let me see if I can find a way to kind of reintroduce it or just kind of mention it kind of casually again as I'm, getting into the content, not in the same way, but just kind of not explaining the idea, but just kind of saying the idea again. Let's see here. Roberto says, would recommend religion doing multiple channels and just getting 3x or so monetized channels out of it. Oh, this is for the audiobook channel. So there's a tip from Roberto Blake, who is an expert YouTube strategist. So you should probably take his advice on what he's telling you there. J-Rock Gaming is our next channel. He uploads 1 time per year or more. He does a gaming channel. The goal of the channel is to provide value for the massive casual gaming audience. The question is, hey, Nick, what is your best advice for creators who don't have time to produce content on a regular basis? I can't be Mark Rober either. So if I make 1 video a month, it's still going to be a normal video. Do what you can. Like if you're trying to go full time on YouTube, then, things are a little bit different because, you're like what you're trying to accomplish is different. Like, you're trying to change, how you live your life. And because of that, sometimes sacrifice is required in terms of burning the candle at both ends and things like that. But if you're like, hey, I'm on YouTube as a hobby, I do this as like a side thing and stuff like that. Like you don't have to, be on the grind, so to speak, as much as you do, like if you're trying to be full time. And the reason for that is because you do have that flexibility. So if your next video gets, 100,000 views or your next video gets, 1,000 views, at the end of the day, it's still, like you're like, hey, it's 1,000 views, right? But 100,000 views would be great. But if it's 1,000 views and it's still, like it's not going to massively negatively impact your life, with that. So because of that, you got to do what you can. But when it comes to not having the time to produce content on a regular basis, a few other things that I want you to think about, and I'm saying this specifically because you're growing gaming content, but this does apply to, I love these. Please don't, moderators, please don't ban this comment. It says, this is all, we're just going to say garbage because we try to stay family friendly here. Oh, she got it anyway. Basically, this person says that YouTube picks and chooses who they want to promote. This is what people that don't know how to make content that people enjoy say. And the reason they say this is because, oh no, here they got 320,000 subscribers. Oh, it's all shorts, mostly shorts. Okay, that makes sense. But yeah, so what happens is people, they expect to publish videos to YouTube, and just because they made something, they expect people to enjoy it, right? In reality, it's up to the viewers. It's not that YouTube picks who, they enjoy. You have a channel here with a bunch of content on it. And on this channel with a bunch of content, and you've got other channels here too. So with all of these channels, you have stats behind all of these where you can literally compare videos, right? And it looks like you're doing it across niches too. So since you have these stats and you can compare videos, if you just go into your analytics and you compare videos that perform versus videos that don't, if you have any awareness of just like stats and things like that at all, you're going to quickly be able to identify why some videos perform better than other videos. You're going to quickly be able to identify shortcomings in the content that you're publishing. You're going to quickly be able to identify why video A did amazing and video B completely tanked, right? So the idea that there's some wizard behind the curtain pressing buttons on hundreds and hundreds of hours of videos that are uploaded every minute to YouTube, the staff that would be involved for that would be just incredible in terms of the amount of employees that they would need for that. So no, they absolutely don't. And you say, here comes the lies. Yeah, love it. Yeah, I love creators like this because like the thing with this, when people are trying to blame YouTube for stuff, is it makes it easy, right? Because when you are blaming YouTube, it takes the responsibility off of yourself for the content that you're publishing. And you can say, oh, well, this video didn't suck because people don't enjoy watching, videos of me. This video sucked because YouTube didn't press that button to make this video do well. So it's just a great way to kind of offload that responsibility for, being dedicated to learning how to make, good content. So, you've got a lot of, subscribers, on your channel. So like you've done something right. But for whatever reason, I'm not sure why you would believe that there's some, magic wizard that, or their AI that is randomly picking a viewer. So in a nutshell, how YouTube works, and I'm just going to say this really quick, is when you publish a video, the people that are the most likely to enjoy that content at that moment in time, based on the information that YouTube is pulling from your video, those are the people that are going to see that video initially. Once YouTube detects how people are enjoying that content, if people are enjoying it at a competitive rate against the other content that you're competing with at that moment in time for that group that YouTube is showing your content to, then if you can compete there, then your videos are going to get shown to more people in the next groups. If not, then, things are just going to dry out. So because of that, keep those types of things in mind. And really quick, Renee Ritchie jumps in here and he says, Disney is the biggest media company in the world. Star Wars and Marvel are the biggest franchises on Earth, and Disney is currently struggling to pull views on those shows, and there's no algorithm there. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Yeah, so like, things like this, and I think he's actually been in here in the chat before. So it's just unfortunate, when people have that approach, because it just removes the responsibility from themselves. And that's fine, everybody has their things. That's cool. But it's just easier to put blame elsewhere than it is to, just accept things. And you've got videos like, look, man, I'm looking at one of your other channels too. And like, you've got, like some of your videos are doing awesome, right? You have some great channels here. So it's interesting to me that you think that way. So I guess you're one of the ones that they picked then, right? Is that what you're saying? Yeah, it's just an interesting perspective, especially from somebody that's doing decent. Normally, when you run across, that type of stance, it's usually creators that like can't break through at all. So it's really interesting to see that. That's interesting. Late pecs maybe, but yeah, it's just interesting to see that particular perspective from somebody that's actually like doing it and getting results. So next up on the list, we've got J-Rock Gaming, gaming content. Oh, we did this one already. And then next up, we've got C&D Central Day. I hope I'm saying this right. Noticias Disney. They upload one time per week or more. They've been making videos for 1 year or more. They have a news channel, and the goal of the channel is for people to be updated with news of the Disney parks before their travel, or for fans of the parks. Quick story for you before I get to your question. So back in March, we went to Japan, and that's where I got engaged. And when we were there, while we were in Tokyo, we got engaged in Kyoto, but while we were in Tokyo, we were like, hey, let's go to Disneyland, right? Because, or Disneyland, Disney World, whatever it is over there. Because my fiance has never been to a Disney park, right? Because I stay in Thailand. So we're there. I want to take her to Disney. We go to Disney, and I'm thinking, okay, we're just going to show up at the park, walk up, buy tickets, right? Go into the park, have a great time. Show up to the park. They have a ticket counter. Walk up to the ticket counter, and they're like, sorry, you can't buy a ticket here. And I'm like, what do you mean we can't buy a ticket here? And they're like, yeah, you have to get it on the mobile app. So basically, they have ticket windows with a bunch of people in them. But when you actually walk up to buy a ticket, you can't. Instead, it's more of a redemption area, and you actually have to walk up and like scan a QR code or whatever in order to do that. But basically, yeah, I ended up having to stand there right next to the ticket thing and sit there and and fill out everything on my phone, which is hilarious. But yeah, that's my quick Disney story for you. But anyway, the question is, what strategies are there for news channels? I can't seem to find any. I have issues with old videos losing value and getting less and less views on them. So if you're doing news in terms of up-to-date stuff, like these are things that you need to know now, in that particular case, I would definitely accept the idea that, if you're doing like hot off of the press stuff that only has a limited shelf life, that you're going to be dealing with that. What you can do, though, is you can supplement it, because the people that you are reaching are interested in Disney parks because they're going there. So because of that, you can make additional content for that channel, but then have the news as part of it. So I used to do this on my channel. So basically, I have my YouTube tip stuff. I have this live stream that I do every Saturday. And then every Friday, I would do a news series that kept creators up to date with everything that's happening on YouTube. And the thing there was that was just an additional offering on top of everything else it was that I was doing. So in your particular case, you can still provide the news, still keep people up to date with everything that's happening now, but also make some evergreen content. Like, hey, if you're going to these Disney parks, these are things you need to know. If you're going to this Disney park, these are things you need to know. Like for the paying for the ticket in advance thing in Japan, right? I didn't know that. And your video would have saved me that time. Where were you? No, I'm just kidding. But when it comes to, that sort of thing, coming up with evergreen things you can do, top rides at this particular park, rides that you definitely have to ride when you, visit Disney, this particular park. But, that type of content is definitely something that I would consider as a means to have some evergreen content that can bring you, long-term traffic over time. Yeah, Roberto says, completely unreasonable and illogical in terms of blaming YouTube for thinking it picks winners and losers. Yeah, just the scale of that would be, holy moly, would be absolutely incredible. Let's see here. And another thing too, every YouTube help channel would probably be huge because basically we're training up armies of creators, right? So because of that, if that was really the case, we'd probably get a lot of love on what it is that we do. Like we'd all have like hundreds of thousands of views per video on everything we published, even if it was garbage, just because YouTube would be like, hey, you're training our folks. Let's give these videos some love, to help us kind of get the word out about everything it is that we're doing and how creators can, thrive and learn all these best practices. Oh, love it. Joining from Nanning, China. Oh, nice. Nice. Super cool, Gregor. Okay, now we're really talking my language. All talking about parks. Oh, look at this. Yeah, look, your profile picture is awesome, by the way. I don't know if you made that yourself, but that's a really awesome piece of art there that you have for your profile picture. Let's see here. How much does the channel name matter? So I'm just pulling some out of chat here real quick for these for just a handful of questions. Says, how much does the channel name matter? I've recently been thinking of changing my unstable gamer name because it may have a negative connotation. So name is important if you want people to be able to tell other people about you in an easy way. That's where your name's important. If you are like active in YouTube and you're, commenting on videos and stuff like that, just as a viewer, and you have a name that helps people identify the type of content that you make, that might pull a viewer for you here and there. Like it's not going to do anything substantial, but that might pull a viewer here or there because it's clear what it is that you do. Like in your case already, you have gamer as part of your name. So if a gamer is into, watching gaming content, then they might check you out just based on that. But when it comes to the name, a couple of things is you want to make it easy. So yours currently is not easy. So if I watch one of your videos, I'm like, man, this is great. And then when I go to meet my brother for coffee, I'm like, hey, dude, I watched this gaming channel. Just awesome. This dude's just hilarious. You got to check him out. And he's like, what's the name? And I'm like, Unstable Gamer. And then I have to add stuff to it, right? I could just say Unstable Gamer and then send him off and then he'll end up finding somebody else. But with yours, I have to say Unstable Gamer, but the E is actually a 3. So it's Unstable Gam 3R is how you got to look for this on YouTube, right? So it just makes it a little bit hard to recommend. Again, at scale, unless your channel starts picking up serious momentum where people are talking about you a lot, not going to be a huge deal. But it's one of those little details that you can do to just make it easier for people to talk about you. Another thing to consider when it comes to your channel name, and late Pex is going to be dealing with this too, is let's say that, your channel is doing well and you start having people hit you up for like podcasts and things like that. And you start doing interviews where it's audio only. Same exact thing's going to apply where you're going to have to explain out your channel name instead of just saying what your name is, right? So, that can also be a complication. But in terms of like how people respond to the content, nobody cares, right? Nobody cares about your channel name. What they care about is the videos themselves and how they're enjoying that content. That's what people care about. Nobody's going to be like, oh, this person has a bad channel name. I'm not going to watch this video that I think is probably going to be awesome. Like that's just not going to happen. So I wouldn't worry about that too much. But, in terms of like branding perspectives, things like that, that's where you got to start thinking about that. Like, for example, if you're like, okay, I want to, actually build like an internet brand here, then in that case, you also would want to, whatever name that you're going to choose, You might also want to like see if the .com is available or another variation, so you can secure the website for it. See if all the other social accounts are available on all the other platforms, so that you can also secure those if you're going to use them now or not, so that once you get ready for those in the future, you can, or just so nobody else can squat on those particular names. And then that'll help you, kind of secure as much stuff as you can around your name. Let's see here. Ninja Monkey says, my videos seem to be stopping at around 7K views. Any reason for this? So if you look at YouTube from a competitive standpoint, which it is, basically, if your videos serve, the viewers in the best way, then of course, people are going to be responding well to those. And if people are responding well to the videos, then they're going to be recommended to more people that are also responding well to them, and so on and so forth. So what's probably happening is your videos are getting past certain thresholds of people that are enjoying them. But then once they get to a, larger group of people, then your videos might not be competing as strongly against the other videos that are in that group. So then therefore YouTube starts prioritizing the content that is getting that better response. And then there's no other choice in that situation than to prioritize that content over yours. But keep in mind, if they're stopping at 7,000 now, doesn't mean they're always going to be at 7,000. It could just be that, they're kind of there now, but they'll continue to get views over time. Some of those might be a lot. Some of them might, not go much over 7,000. But the idea is that once you get into, those additional group, or really any of the groups that YouTube is showing your content to, once you start not being competitive there, then you can see like an immediate, kind of impact on the content where it'll just start falling off there, because it's kind of reached its limits for that moment in time. But it doesn't mean that it's going to be completely dead. Yeah, totally. I mean, a really viral video can make money, but yeah, like one viral video, it's not going to make, like it's not going to change your life in terms of a money perspective, but it could set up the momentum that you need to really, jumpstart things. Let's see here. So Republic of Me Travel says, thoughts on invalid traffic issues potentially instigated by competitor channel, Black Hat Tactics sending bogus traffic your way. So I was getting hit with invalid traffic for a while, then it just stopped. So I'm not sure, what happened in my case, but it just stopped. On the revenue side, it didn't do anything. I didn't have any negative impacts on the revenue side from that. In your case, I'm not sure, outside of embedding a video and then driving a bunch of, bots to that video. I'm not sure how somebody might, trigger that, trying to use it maliciously, but I'm sure people have figured out a way, to do that. But I'm not saying it's not possible. But if you are getting invalid traffic, I would definitely, report it to YouTube. They're not going to do anything about it, but just sharing that information with them can at least give them another channel that they might look into to, try to figure out what's going on, because this has been a problem on YouTube for quite some time. And it happens to people. Sometimes it's legit. Sometimes there is just, traffic that, is shady that's coming to your channel from somewhere. And because of that, you'll get those notices. Other times it happens and like nobody can explain why. YouTube doesn't know, you don't know, like, nobody knows why it's getting invalid, but their system is actually marking it as invalid traffic. That particular thing sucks, because that puts a lot of creators in a position to where they're like, hey, I don't know what's going on. I'm reaching out for help. And YouTube's like, I don't know. We don't know what's going on either. It just makes it, kind of, it sucks. So if you're going through that right now, I hate to hear that. And I hope it's not impacting you on the revenue side. I know some people on the revenue side, it decimates them. Other people, it doesn't really impact them at all, but they still get the notice in there. So hopefully, you're on that side of it to where there's not an impact, but you're getting the notice, because that is the thing. So if it is an attack, that might be where that sort of thing happens, right? It might be that they can detect that it's an attack, and therefore it doesn't actually, even though it might flag you, it might not actually have any real impact. But if they do notice, like, hey, there is something shady going here, but it doesn't seem like an attack, that might be, I don't know, but that might be, where it kind of, where it does create like a real impact. Gregor Brown, thanks for the super chat, says, are the long shorts working? I uploaded on October 16th, 1.5 minute videos, but it's not short in studio, VPNing from China. So no. So basically what it is that you are doing right now is you're kind of getting those videos ready to be ready when YouTube, rolls that feature around, there. So right now, the idea is to, put videos out that, that will go into the shorts, so that they will be able to pull that in for their inventory. But the problem that, some people are running into now is that they are publishing videos and they're just hitting the regular, videos. So like, people are seeing those videos, but they're not responding to them, because they're not designed for long form. So just keep in mind that, you might run into some of those complications. So I wouldn't get too aggressive on it right now in terms of like publishing one every day or anything like that. I would definitely give it some time, until they, do start, kind of rolling it out a little bit more efficiently. It seems like, based on the information that, Renee mentioned in his video, it seemed like the initial 15th deadline was more about, hey, if you upload something from this day forward, it's going to be, pulled into the short shelf once it gets there, versus, hey, on the 15th, it's go time. Everybody, as soon as you upload something, it's going to go into the short shelf. And they had kind of mentioned that, along the way, saying we're going to be rolling this out, blah, blah, blah. But we were all like, hey, it's the 15th, let's go. And I'm like looking at channels and stuff, like looking for, any, like longer shorts that have been pulled in and things and didn't see anything. So that's kind of where we're at right now, but I just wouldn't be too aggressive, with it at this point in time if you're going to be doing that. Let's see here. This is a great question. So Jabari's Fitness says, should I have more than 1.2 thousand subscribers if I have 233 videos? There isn't a rule. So I made a video on my channel, and this is pre-shorts. Can't remember the details of the actual numbers. But that video, if you look up like Nick Nimmin, how many videos on YouTube search, it'll take you to that particular video. But basically, that video was just sharing at that point in time based on like, I think it was like 500, how many channels was it? It was a bunch of channels. It was basically the whole TubeBuddy database at that time, which is a ton of users. It was how many videos they uploaded compared to their subscriber counts. And it was wildly different, but there were kind of averages, right? So that particular video shares those. But the thing is when it comes to the amount of videos that you have versus the amount of subscribers you have, like everybody's experience is going to be different. Some people like in your case, you're doing fitness. So one thing to think about is like, okay, some people are going to find your content through like YouTube search, and they're just trying to figure out how to do like a particular workout. For those people, they might love your video, but they might be like, okay, they taught me how to do that thing, but this is the only thing that I'm trying to learn. So therefore I'm not going to subscribe to the channel because I'm not going to be watching this content. So they still got value out of what it is that you're doing, but maybe it just didn't garner that subscribe because you just helped them solve that problem that they could then move on from, right? However, if you're making content where you're taking people through processes and things like that, then in that particular case, it might cause more people to subscribe because then they're like, okay, yeah, I'm going to be here watching this every week. So therefore, I'm going to subscribe to the channel, for that. So there isn't really like a benchmark outside of like, yeah, you want to get more subscribers to the videos that you publish and all that. But at the end of the day, people do react differently to different types of content and different creators and things like that. So, so I would focus more in just so too. It's more important to have people watch more of your videos than it is to have somebody subscribe to your channel now. Subscribing to your channel is a great indicator if they're into what it is that you're doing. They're probably going to get recommended your content and all that. But if somebody's watching a bunch of your videos back to back, that tells YouTube they're really into what it is that you're doing, that they didn't just hit a button because you told them to, but they're literally spending their time watching what it is that you've made. So because of that, right now, I would actually focus more on sending people to the next video and thinking out like, just mapping out like, okay, if somebody watches this video, then over the next 90 days, I'm going to be making these videos. So how can I kind of loop back some of these and get people, just kind of intertwined in what it is that I'm doing? That particular approach right now is what I'd focus on more than, the actual subscriber count. Travis, MVP in the house. What's up, dude? Hope that you're doing fantastic. MVP in our world. He's actually the voice behind this.
Super chat.
And the voice behind this.
Welcome to the Nimminati.
Yeah. So I don't get much videos on my channel, and I'm confused because I have over 1,000 subscribers, and I'm going to follow this one up too. So when it comes to having a bunch of subscribers on your channel, and not getting views that match the subscribers, keep in mind that one, interests change, things like that. But just because you have a subscriber doesn't mean that they're going to agree with your topic choice of the next video that you publish. It doesn't mean that 1,000 people are going to watch every video that you have. It means that 1,000 people have found enough value in what it is that you do that they subscribe so that they can get more at some point. Some people will continue watching. Some people will just fade out as they find other content, and they'll just never unsubscribe. So like on my channel, for example, I've lost over 400,000 subscribers on my channel over the time of my 10 years here on YouTube. So people leave, people unsubscribe, all those things happen. And there's also a lot of people that subscribe to my channel and don't use YouTube anymore, or don't make YouTube videos anymore. And those people are pretty much dead subscribers in terms of, like YouTube could try to show them my content all day long, but because they're not watching YouTube anymore, they don't care and they're never going to click on them, right? So because of that, you just have to consider, that aspect of things as well. Travis, super appreciate it, dude. Thank you. Hey, dude, have you installed my app yet, by the way? Hope so. Doug, ancient. Yep. Doug's like Egypt ancient in here. Love it, love it, love it. Ah, love that. Love that. Yeah, that's a good perspective shift. I look at it as 400,000 people that I couldn't connect with, right? Like I had them, but then just couldn't connect. That's the way I look at it. But on that note, let's see here. Works for more apps than YouTube, which makes it super valuable. Awesome. Okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure that you did get a chance to check it out. Okay. So on that note, I do want to thank everybody for hanging out here. Unfortunately D couldn't make it because he was, under the weather today, but thank you so much for hanging out. If you are a new content creator and you're getting started this, or even if you've been doing it for a while and you're just not getting the, activity that you want right now, just remember, YouTube is a learning curve. YouTube, does require, certain things. Some people will blame YouTube, but in reality, it's our content. It's always us. When we publish something and people don't respond to it in the way that we would like them to, it just means that we have more work to do, or there's, a better understanding that we need of our viewers, those sorts of things. So, look at yourself in those scenarios, and instead of looking at it like, man, I just can't get past this point, kind of shift it a little bit and start thinking like, okay, what skills do I need to develop that might help me get past this, this wall that I keep hitting? What understanding of my audience do I need to work on in order to, possibly get past this? What things about YouTube do I need to know, if anything, in order to, get past, this particular part? But start looking at it like that instead of looking at it as like a deficiency of some kind. Just look at it as like, hey, I just gotta, just keep working on this. And if I work on it and focus hard on the skills and testing stuff so that I can really learn what my viewers enjoy from me, then you'll get there. So hang in there. You got this. Have a fantastic rest of your weekend. Remember to check out my mobile app over at creatorkeyboard.com/app. I forgot to pin it to the top of the stream here today, but make sure to check that out if you are a content creator on an iOS device. I'll actually just type it in here for you really quick into the chat. creatorkeyboard.com/app. Yeah, so make sure that you check that out. It basically helps you quickly answer repetitive comments and share links anytime you want on any platform, any social media app, emails, anything that you want. Basically, if you say things a bunch, this is a great way to save yourself a ton of time. So check that out at creatorkeyboard.com/app. I got a bunch of stuff down in the description as well that will help you out as a content creator. Have a great rest of your weekend. And I will see you next Saturday at 9 a.m. Eastern as well. And talk to you soon. Stay safe out there.